And that's fine.
Nope.
You're allowed your incorrect opinion. That's okay.
Dang, that surprised the frick out of me.
So much his favorite that I remember being on Xbox with him one time, and he, like, over the course of 2 hours, just kept on going back to just that line and playing it over and over again. Be like, Cameron, it's so hard! It's such a hard bar, dude! It's so good! I don't think you understand, it's so good! And I'm like, I get it, Trevor, you've been playing it for 2 hours. I understand how much you like the line.
Okay, so then I know you're...
You don't know anything. It'd be something you never heard.
You've been waiting for it. You've been asking for it. You knew it was going to be on here.
Without further ado,
Yeah.
I bring to you...
What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to episode 36th of the Unboxing Life podcast. I'm your host today. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by my other three friends. I'm joined by Trevor.
Oh, shit, what's poppin', baby?
I'm joined by David.
Hey, so excited to be here. Let's go.
Sound like it.
Sound like it. Good to have you, David. I'm joined by, last but absolutely not least, Cameron. What's going on?
Rise and grind, baby. Let's get this done. Let's do this.
And we definitely did do that.
We literally did.
And today we are talking about, as you can tell by the title, we are talking about our top 10 albums of all time.
Our
Yo.
favorites.
It
Yes.
Each of us have compiled our lists, and we're going to share what we think is what is our top 10 each.
I hate my list so much, but it's fine.
Yeah. Remember, it's subjective. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or is it objective? Who knows? Maybe these are the best.
Oh, yeah, see episode 34 for our take on that.
Goodness.
Yeah. Right.
Anyways, who's going first on the tradition, Alex? Who would you like to go first?
Ooh.
Oh,
I do want Cameron to go first. I'm interested to hear his fact.
All right.
okay.
So we're getting started with a guessing game here.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So the guessing game
Thriller.
that goes along with the fact is which album from a Marvel movie, the soundtrack to the Marvel movie compiled into an album. This is the only one to hit number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart.
Black Panther by Kendrick.
Okay.
Or does that count?
It's not. That was an album released along with the thing. So I'll give you another guess.
Dang.
I know the answer.
Infinity War.
Infinity War. Okay, Alex.
I have no clue. Iron Man, I'll say.
All right. Trevor.
It's the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack.
Incorrect.
No.
That's out here. So
Yeah.
the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack album reached number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart, making it the first soundtrack album in history consisting entirely of previously released songs to top the chart.
That's fucking wild.
That's funny. Yeah.
And it's the Awesome Mix Volume 1 that Star-Lord has. That is literally the album.
I worked with a guy at UPS that he bought those 2 cassette tapes because they came out in like actual cassettes, and he bought them just to have them because he loves that shit. So dope.
Classic hit records. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dang, that's
it.
funny.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Star-Lord.
Makes sense. Yeah.
All right. I want to hear Trevor's quote.
Oh fuck. All right.
Elite preparation.
All right, so I'm not even gonna tell y'all where it's from. I'll tell you where it's from after I say it.
Mm-hmm.
So the quote goes like this: "Good God Almighty, like back in the old days, years ago they had the A&R men to tell you what to play, how to play it, and whether it's disco and rock. But we just went in the studio and we did it. We had the champagne in the studio, of course, compliments of the company, and we just laid back and did it. So we hope you enjoy listening to this podcast half as much as we enjoyed making it for you, because we had a ball. Only real music's gonna last. All the other bullshit, is here today and gone tomorrow.
I know where it's from, brother.
If you don't, that is the opening line of Drake's Pound Cake 2, or Pound Cake and Paris Morton Music 2,
All right.
Yeah.
featuring Hova.
Who says that quote?
Let me see.
And did they say album
like-
instead of podcast?
Yeah, they say
Okay. I figured as much.
Something with a
I
gravelly
do like
voice.
Jimmy
I
Smith.
do like pound cake.
Jimmy Smith. Yeah, Pound Cake's great. God
Yep.
dang. That beat is immaculate.
That beat
Well,
is
I'm talking about, like,
absolutely
actual
bangers,
Pound
my
Cake.
guy.
Mm-hmm. The actual Pound Cake. Okay.
There you go.
Nice.
David, if you don't mind, I think I want to hear your track, the last. So I think I'll share my joke first.
Oh, okay.
Last.
Okay.
The last.
It's gonna be walking in the snow again.
I mean, I wouldn't
That'd
hate
be
that.
hilarious.
It would fit, but I'm gonna be mad. He's got the Snow Walker shirt on and shit.
Be Yankee and the Brave instead.
Shout out.
All right. What kind of clothes does a house wear?
A
I
tarp.
don't know, man.
Hey, tarp, bro. That's pretty good.
I think I thought of the biggest piece of fabric I could think of.
A wardrobe.
Wardrobe.
A dress.
wow.
Okay.
It's so simple. You can't see it coming. Dang.
Yeah, I know.
A dress.
Overthink it too
A
much.
wordplay.
Yeah.
A dress.
It's really nice and straightforward.
It's an elite level wordplay for sure. Dang.
Dang.
All right, David, hit us with your big boy track of the episode.
All right, suckers. I
One
figured it
better
would
be a
be.
certified hood classic.
I don't think any of you have heard it actually, so no freaking out today. But I figured it would be like if I just did an album like that's on like a song from an album on my list, it would just be spoiling what's on my list, and like I'm gonna be talking about the albums anyway. So I decided to do one of my favorite songs that is not anywhere on this list, not even an honorable mention. It's not on an album. It's a great album, but the song is called "Paranoid Android" by Radiohead.
Okay.
Interesting.
And it is a 6.5 minute, very interesting banger. I don't know. The mixing is perfect, even though it's from the 90s. You couldn't tell. And what to say if you haven't heard it?
Is it their brand of alt rock?
Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna
pretty
say,
alt rock.
Is that popular Radiohead or is that like lesser known Radiohead? Because
I
I've
think it's-
definitely heard some of their bangers. Like I couldn't tell you it was them until I saw it, but I'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
You've
like
definitely heard
popular.
Creep.
It's well
Yeah.
known. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
well,
not
yeah.
like Creep. It's not Creep or anything, but it's pretty
Yeah.
well known. It's off OK Computer, which is one of their most like well known albums.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. Yeah.
And it's my favorite song on there, and I love this song to death. It gives you a certain feel. I feel like it just puts you in a certain world or something when you listen to it.
That's
And
a dope title.
Cool.
yeah, Paranoid Android. It's pretty cool. It's got interesting themes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If you like
Cool.
complex, interesting alternative rock songs, that's like one of my favorites.
Alrighty.
Dope.
There you go.
Dope.
Thank you for the recommendation. That's dope.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
meaning to listen to at least a couple of their albums because obviously they're like a figurehead in the rock world. But
Yeah, I gotta
Never got
check them
around
out
to them.
more. Yeah.
Yeah. dope.
There you go.
All right. Without further ado, I
Yeah.
bring to you.
Okay.
So,
So
I'm spoiling.
we gotta get the honorable mentions out the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honorable
Yeah.
mentions. What order are we going in?
I'm going traditional,
Should we
I
just
guess,
we
huh?
should just rattle them off? Oh, well, for the honorable mentions, I think we should all do them like just when it's our turn, just spew them all out, and then we'll
Yeah,
go.
yeah. For
Yeah, but what's
sure.
the order?
Yeah,
Can we just do the same order as traditions? So Cameron,
we can do
Trevor,
that.
me, David.
Let's get it. Cameron's gonna have to lead us. Oh, we lit.
Okay, I'm
Let's
happy about
go.
that.
This is intimidating as frick.
Big
Okay.
brain.
So
Just honorable mentions.
the
Okay.
disclaimer up the top, obviously, that we do with all our top tens is that this is our subjective top tens. So it's a lot. It has a lot to do with our personal experience with the art, which is obviously goes without saying, but it's worth saying to a degree, I think. And the largest disclaimer for me is that I am the biggest baby music fan in this group by miles and miles. So
Okay.
this is not a definitive top 10. I'm not looking to fight people on this. Don't come at my throat in the comments telling me I don't know shit about music because I know already. So That's fine.
Yeah.
This
is
is,
fine.
I'm excited for this largely because this is like a time capsule for me. Like, this is going to be very, very cool to look back on in months and years to say, wow, like that was my baby cam top 10 of all time. And now there's like however many replaced, however many moved up and down, you know, all this stuff. And that's also even for, you know, these guys around me, time capsule for them to a degree as well. Cause, you know, new music comes out.
I still look at my, like I looked at when I was making this list, I looked at my 2018 list, my 2019 list. And like before we did the podcast, like I just sent these to David, like, cause he was the only one I could talk to about it. So like, it's cool to just have this forum to do this.
Yeah.
Dang.
Back on.
So,
I think we all listen to a variety of different genres, and we have different unique thoughts about music. So we're gonna share ours with you. If you share us your top 10. Give us your top 10 in the comments.
Yeah, please.
or top 3,
We'd
top
love to
5,
hear.
whatever you
Whatever
got.
you
Whatever
feel
it is.
comfortable sharing.
Stuff that it's just talking about stuff we love, and that's dope, man. And we can get recommendations from y'all. And then there you go.
Absolutely.
So
Alrighty.
With that disclaimer out of the way,
So
I'm
that's
excited to
fine.
hear yours. Give me your honorable mentions.
yes,
So my 2 honorable mentions, which we discussed off air, but I'll also give this, is that like these are not necessarily like 11, 12. Like these aren't like, if we had to do like a top 25, these aren't necessarily ranking like right below the top 10. They're just ones we want to talk about because they're, you know, art we enjoy that, like, you know, you kind of wish you could put up there, but they're still worth mentioning. So anyway, mine are the Marshall Mathers LP.
okay.
Okay.
The first one.
So classic album.
Yeah, because LP2 is first.
Don't spoil. And Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone.
Dope.
Dang. Okay.
Both albums that I said to Trevor, I think, or maybe the whole group the other day, that I couldn't believe after listening to the LP2 that it took me so long, like years even, to go back and listen through the LP1, because it's, you know, stylistically the kind of Eminem I like, so I enjoyed that album a lot, and I was like, wow, it took me this long to get here. So, and then Beer Bongs and Bentleys obviously is just a good vibe, just a good run.
Yeah,
always
that's a cool,
pretty good to throw
Some
on.
good pop rap.
Yeah,
cool different ends of the spectrum too. Yeah, you get the modern, you get the classic. That's good.
all right, so there's the honorables.
Yeah.
So
Dang.
numero 10 on my list.
No.
Trevor's going up.
No, we're doing
honorables
honorables first, and then okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I missed the memo
I
that we
want to
just
break
put
David's
forward.
heart with this.
Jumping the gun. Oh, please.
That's fine.
This is like the scariest part.
Dude, I have to leave this. No, all right, I'm gonna leave this one for last because. All right, so my first honorable mention is "Late Registration" by Mr. Kanye West.
Nice.
I have been on record saying that "Graduation" is my favorite album by him, but this album gives me feels that like no other rap album does. I don't know what it is. It's not like there's a few skippables for me, honestly, on this album, but like those first like 7 to 8 tracks are just like it makes me feel at home. Like whenever you hear "Heard Him Say" and then it goes into "Touch the Sky," like those brother.
Yeah.
This album just does things.
Diamonds.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Sierra
Diamonds,
Leone and-
Celebration, Hey Mama, you know,
So
Hey
many
Mama.
great
so
songs.
many.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Roses. Yeah.
Roses is fantastic too. Like, yeah, this album is awesome. So
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'd be damned if I didn't put it there.
Yeah.
Another one is "The Heist" by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. This is my
Nice.
this is brother. I've been wanting David to listen to this for like so goddamn long, and I'm gonna get him to listen to it eventually. But
Dang.
I have like so many vivid memories just playing this with when I was playing Borderlands 2 back when I had the 360 and you could like download your albums onto the console and you could play it while you have the game going. I did that with Avenged all the time, but The Heist I remember playing with Borderlands 2. So anytime I think about Borderlands, I think about Macklemore.
Dang, that's funny.
That's crazy, actually. Well,
Yeah. Another one is "Nothing Was the Same" by Aubrey Drake Graham.
Ah, wow.
Yeah. This is my favorite Drake album, and it shot further up for me when I realized that.
really?
It shot further up for me when I realized "Pound Cake" was actually the closer on it, and not too much.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I thought it was a bonus track.
Yeah,
But
dude.
it's not.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
That's interesting. That surprised the frick out of me.
This is his most consistent, most concise, and most enjoyable album for me. Like I skip like maybe 2 tracks on here whenever I listen to it.
So yeah, I expected Drake. Full disclosure, I was like, okay, Take Care is gonna be like number 1 or top 3 or something, and then okay, this is a total flip.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought the same thing, that there was going to be some Drake high up there. So
My list is gonna surprise you all, but
dang.
Probably, yeah.
That is
Wow,
very
that's
interesting though, because I would say that like if we sat here for half an hour and all you guys did was try to guess each other's top 10s with unlimited guesses, we'd get there like within 20 minutes probably. 20 minutes to half an hour. Like if you guys just sat there back and forth like guessing like is this in it, is this in it, is this in it, not like position wise, but like is this in the top 10, we would get there like pretty fast. So this is interesting that we already have a surprise in the honorable mentions. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm thinking I might surprise some of you too. I'm sure there's definitely some you guys know from me, but
I'm looking forward
surprise
to it.
you on some of these picks.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I don't want it to be like, obvious. I want it to be what you truly enjoy. So
yeah.
Back to Drake. Fucking Take Care was his most important album, but this is I think this is his best album.
Dang. Okay.
Another one is Sempiternal by Bring Me the Horizon, and I'm actually wearing a necklace that signifies this album. I don't know if you guys can see it or
You
not.
gotta get it real close. I don't know if it'll focus or not, but
Sempiternal?
Sempiternal. Yeah, not simp.
Okay.
I believe it means to be eternal,
Okay.
never ending. It's the album that got me into metalcore.
Wait, is it
8 years ago?
Is it SEMP?
Say that again.
Is it SEMP?
Yes.
Semp Eternal. Yeah, that's probably
Sempiternal.
that's probably abbreviation of semper, which means always. Yeah, in Latin.
Dang.
But there's a track called Shadow Moses on here. That was the first metalcore song, I guess you could say, that I've ever heard, and I hated it at first, and it scared me when I first heard it, and I was listening to it on my fucking Kindle Fire like 8 years ago.
Kindle Fire.
Yeah, like it was fucking throwback season for sure.
Wow.
I was
Man,
listening
oh,
to
man.
this when they were reviewing when they were revealing the PlayStation 4 back when Radioactive was like the shit. And they put that in the next generation trailers, and it was everywhere. I was listening to this, trying to like train my ears to like the screaming.
Dang.
But once I got over it, it just changed. This album literally changed my life.
Wow.
It's not my favorite album by them either, like by any means, but it's like that cornerstone album for me. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Dang.
and the last honorable mention I have
I'm so
it is Prime by Prime.
That's painful for David because that should be top 10. I take it.
How could
What
you
is
do
happening?
this? How could you do this?
I didn't even see your reaction because I had the Word doc up, so but
Oh my god. I just put my head
this-
down.
dude.
He just died inside.
I was joking with David like a few weeks back, like, yo, I heard that sound good, and I was like, yo, this shit is top 10. And then
Damn.
I sat down and made the list, and I'm just like, there are too many albums that I have to mention
Damn.
before this one.
Man.
That's how it is.
Dude, I thoroughly enjoy this
Goodness.
shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is like one of the best underground hip hop albums like out there by far. Like in terms of just pure skill, there's no other match.
Yeah.
So if you like rap at all, do yourself a favor. We did it to Cam like 3 years ago, and he loved it.
It was the first one of your recommendations that I actually took you up on. I think that I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And he still plays it.
the original ones were Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt.
Yep.
But I never ended up getting around to those because there was a whole title thing, and then Jay-Z was on Spotify for a year before I realized, and whatever. But anyway, the Prime album was one of the ones that I popped on Spotify and like instantly liked. So yeah, it was great.
Interesting.
And then it that was one that I'll say I basically instantly liked, and then liked it more and more the more I listened to it.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's shitty because I always like don't give you enough credit for like what you're able to like. And I know that sounds like super elitist, but like I feel like sometimes you have to like build up to certain albums, but like you like hit strides with Run the Jewels, and I thought you weren't even going to enjoy that at all. So
Yeah.
it's just dope that you're able to enjoy like super lyrical shit like that.
It comes and goes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
But that's
It'll come
that's
up
me.
again.
That's all my
Man.
honorable mentions.
Okay,
I didn't mean to take too much time, but
that's fine. The amount Trevor and I have
All
talked about that album is like,
the amount of times we've quoted that album
Yeah.
has my favorite rhyme of all time on there. So like,
Yeah.
it's painful for me to ever put that anywhere near,
So-
not near the top 10.
So much his favorite that I remember being on Xbox with him one time, and he like over the course of 2 hours just kept on going back to just that line and playing it over and over again. Be like, Cameron, it's so hard. It's such a hard bar, dude. It's so good. I don't think you understand. It's so good. And I'm like, I get it, Trevor. You've been playing it for 2 hours. I understand how much you like the line.
yeah,
It was so good.
it
Yeah,
is a great line.
yeah. Wishing is a banger for sure.
All right, who's next, Alex?
Oh,
Freaking hit him
All
up,
right.
man. Get ready.
all right. I got 3 honorable mentions, boys.
Let's get it.
Rubbing my hands
The
together.
first one,
Like baby.
the first one is "Butterfly" by Mariah Carey.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
Interesting.
I've been wanting to get into
Nine-
some Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep.
Is this her old shit, or-
Mariah? Yeah, it's her old shit from '97.
Okay.
If Mariah is listening, she's not. I love you.
We'll send it to her.
Yeah, we'll add her in our Instagram story.
Yeah.
You're gonna make Obsessed Part 2. Oh no.
Goodness.
I was struggling with this one, man, because I wanted this one in my top 10, but man, there's just
That's tough.
too many. It's tough, so it has to be an honorable mention.
Just classic R&B, or
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know. I think it's her best album. It's hard to say, but
that'll be the
it's
first
really
one I
dope,
listen to then.
Yeah, dope.
for sure. My second honorable mention is 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars.
You already know the vibes.
Nice. This is gonna happen a
already
lot.
know
Say it
that's
again. I'm sorry. I had to nut
This
over
is
that one.
this is gonna happen a lot where someone says something and Trevor just like murders
Well,
the Discord
like-
call.
Dude, because fucking Alex and I listen to this album whenever we go to fucking Disney, like together. It's
That's
wow.
cool. That's fun.
so good.
It's a vibe. It's 24 Karat Magic, man.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars. For the longest time, it was my top Bruno Mars was Doo-Wops and Hooligans, but
Mm.
24
Damn.
Magic just has a
That one
whole.
took the crown.
It just has a whole.
It's so
It has a
goddamn
whole
smooth.
vibe to it, man.
It's so
So
smooth.
smooth. The
Definitely.
production value on it is immense.
Immaculate.
Mm.
Yeah, crazy.
Where he at though? That was 5 years ago. If he gives us another one of that, he can just retire.
That's
Yeah.
fact.
Like,
He can retire now. He's
yeah,
living
he
the
could.
life.
No, he could.
Dang.
He's doing his thing.
Mm.
All right.
Shout out to that album. That album's dank.
And my third honorable mention is an honorable mention and not a top 10 because it's a compilation album, but it's because it's very unique for the time. It is the very best of doo-wop.
Oh.
It's a compilation album, 1996. Doo-wop is like a genre,
I was
it's an
gonna say.
old genre,
Mm.
like the 40s, 50s, 60s type times. There's just certain periods in my life when I'm like, you know what? I need some doo-wop. So I'll just throw a doo-wop and I'll listen to it all day for like a straight week.
That's dope.
Doo-wop is a vibe.
It is. It's such good listening. I do enjoy doo-wop. But
I feel like that's.
I've never heard a lick of it. So.
I feel like that's
You
one
never
that
have? Oh.
I feel like that's one where I couldn't tell you what it was, but I would know it if I heard it. I would be like,
That's
okay,
like-
yeah,
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
this. And I probably couldn't put the name on it, but I feel like I've heard that term and everything. Yeah. So.
Well, you can go listen to the very best of doo-wop and look at the track listing and just listen from there because
You know what?
it's a variety of different people and artists. And
I just might.
Dope. No,
Just
yeah,
mine.
I'm gonna need all y'all's lists. And
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean that's
screenshot
happening.
so I can just like put this on a Spotify playlist and go ham.
I mean, there's no way you
Yeah,
haven't heard
yeah.
everything that's on mine, but
That's facts.
actually, maybe not
I'll go
everything.
back
Maybe
and
not
listen
everything.
to it.
Now that I say that, but
Oh,
we'll see.
little subversive.
I haven't heard Cash, so
We'll see.
We'll see. I don't even know what that is. All right. Time for
David,
my
you gotta hit
honorable mentions.
Yep.
Okay. I got 3. So I figured I'd start out with one of the albums that. I just thought of another one.
Go ahead, just give us 4. I gave
No,
you guys
they're-
5. Just go ahead.
They're both by like the same artist, though.
Okay.
I guess I should do. No, I'll do Camp by Childish Gambino. So, because the internet is the first like hip hop album I ever bought, and that's like, oh, good God. So, I listened to that as my first hip hop album, got me into hip hop. Then Camp though was like oh my god, this is better. And like now I don't know which is better necessarily, because camp is definitely when you like, I don't know, listen to more hip hop or whatever. It's like there's some cheesiness and corniness, but it just ignited my fire for listening to more hip hop. And Trevor and I would just quote it and sing it all the time. And like I finally got Trevor into it, and he freaking loved it.
It changed my life. No, it really did. Camp is like, it never left my CD player. It was there for like 2 months straight. I remember when I graduated high school and I was having to drive to Valencia, and it was in my car all the time. I listened to it like to death. It's such a good album.
Bro, I would walking back home from high school, just listening to Childish Gambino all the time. I was just,
The beginning of Outside is just all you need to know, man.
Yeah, just listen to Outside, you'll get into it.
Fuck me, bro. That just sends me in another dimension. I think because The Internet is a better album, but I think I enjoy listening to Camp more.
I fully agree. Yeah,
I hate because The Internet is so much shit for so many years, and now I finally appreciate it.
yeah, for real. And then I'll go with Rodeo by Travis Scott. Is my favorite trap album, so I had to throw it on there. Yeah, full on trap, full of vibes, full on trap. You don't need to care about the lyrics at all. I mean, there's some good lyrics on a few of the songs, but
it's definitely not for you hip hop heads. If you want to just, it's quite literally a vibe. Like it's melodies for days. It's just a trip of an album.
Yeah, I think if you want to expand your listening to modern stuff, it's like a modern trap classic basically. So it's what a lot of trap fans will reference. So yeah, there you go. Modern hip hop.
Rodeo.
Yeah, Rodeo, great album. And then my final honorable mention would be A Sailor's Guide to Earth by Sturgill Simpson.
Okay.
My favorite country album, and it has some stiff competition for sure, and I need to get more into the genre, but I absolutely love this album. I think it's beautiful. It's a light concept album in a way when you figure out like he's talking to the same person throughout the album, and for the most part, and then instrumentation is just crazy. I think it was recorded in like one session of just him and this live band or something like that. It's nutty, and
I love those stories of after you're everyone's done composing the music and they just go into the studio and literally just do it in one day. It's so dope.
Yeah, and you can almost tell like his energy when they're just playing like the instrumental bits. He'll just be like freaking singing in the background, like ad-libbing and stuff. And like,
nice.
Yeah, it's if you don't like country at all, it might be a good entry point. I wanted so desperately to put this on my top 10. It's a beautiful album. I love it. So well written. Yeah.
Dang.
There you go.
I would not mind to have these boys listen to it so we can review it because it would be dope.
I'd be a good episode, I think. Yeah.
That's
all right.
You said keep it between the lines on that one, right?
Yeah.
It is,
yeah. And I like that song, and I don't like a lot of country, or don't like most country, so we'll see. Could be coming up. Could be a future music podcast.
Those were some fire honorable mentions.
Wouldn't hate.
Thank you. Yeah, same to you. Okay, guys, let's get into it.
We're doing it. We're doing it big.
Cameron, yeah, boy.
I got the
Cameron's
first one. So, at number 10 on my top 10 of all time is Trevor. Do you know the name of the album?
Fuck.
You called it.
Eminem Show.
No.
Oh,
no.
Wait.
You called it. You called the one you haven't heard. The one that I said you haven't heard.
Cash.
Oh.
Do you know the name of the album?
No.
It's Blood, Sweat, and 3 Years by Cash.
Okay, yeah, you said it, yeah.
Yeah. On there's I listened to this album in the lead up to when I had Cash come for my homecoming concert at Miami in my sophomore year, I think. And it was Cash and A$AP Ferg, and I've not been to many concerts at all, but that was a fucking great one because I was on the floor just like absolutely bouncing to the EDM, and then A$AP Ferg came out and like started mosh pits and like doing all this shit. So that was like very interesting. I was in gym shorts and had like my phone and wallet about to fall out of my pocket the entire fucking time. So I was like staying away from the mosh pits so I didn't get like accidentally mugged basically and lose my phone. I just didn't come prepared. I just wasn't as prepared as I should be. But yeah,
right. So who is Cash? I haven't heard.
Cash is like every other EDM group that's just two white dudes. Like literally me and Trevor could walk in somewhere and be like, we're Cash, and they would have to believe us basically.
Smokers.
Yeah, we're the chain smokers. Yeah. They're just like these two white dudes that they get a lot
We're above and beyond.
They get a lot of features and everything. The closing track on this album is Surrender, which is like an all-time EDM song for me. It's like one of my favorites for sure. And then they have the track Devil, which I don't know if you guys have heard. That's with Busta Rhymes and B.O.B. That like Busta just has an insane fucking verse on there, and it's like up and down like EDM and rap throughout. So it's a really fun track. And then Take Me Home featuring Baby Rexha is on there too, which is like another like super popular when it came out EDM track that you would have heard everywhere. And then there was a super famous remix that came out of that one as well. So yeah, just there's only like a couple of weak tracks. There's a couple that are just like I don't know what they were really doing with the beat, but like I'll just skip and enjoy the next one. So it's a very, very strong album, very good EDM. Gets you
whenever I
hyped.
play
So yeah,
whenever I play EDM in Discord, whenever we're playing like a game or whatever together, Cameron always plays Cash Cash every time. It's like without fail. I'll play Elenium or something like that, and he's like Cash Cash.
I mean, just whenever we're in whenever the group is apparently in an EDM mood, I'm just like, all right, let me just slide this one in there. That's like, I mean, because like I said, Surrender's an all timer for me. So yeah, that's number 10.
That's
Blood, Sweat, and 3 years. Big recommend.
That's right. 3 years.
My number 10
Oh,
is
boy,
on
here we
my
go.
shirt. It's on my shirt. This is an instrumental group called Chon. And I believe their name comes from the 4 essential elements.
Okay.
Nitrogen. But it is their It is their self-titled album that I am speaking about that came out a year and a half ago. It's Chon by Chon. This is there's so many nights like at like 2 a.m. in the morning when I'm leaving Rocio's house and I put this album on, and it's like comfort food in an album. Like it's just like it's a noodle soup of riffs and melodies and tempo switches, and the drummer is just absolutely insane on this album. I wish it was produced a little more, like in terms of its loudness. It doesn't hit nearly as hard as it should, but it's like lo-fi progressive rock without vocals. It's so great.
Interesting.
Dang.
So if you're in the mood for like a sort of lo-fi album like that just chills you out, it will quite literally lower your heart rate because it's so chill.
That's interesting. I know you mess with the instrumental albums and stuff, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite genres for sure.
That's a cool one.
That's mine. That's my top. That's my 10.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, moving on to Alex now.
All right, my number 10, man. Ooh. My number 10 is Odisea by Ozuna.
Okay.
Okay.
The album came out in 2017. This is a dope freaking album. It's his debut album.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
You said it's what?
It's his debut album.
Oh, gotcha.
He had like singles and stuff beforehand, but it's his like first debut album. He's weird when he releases an album because he'll release like 3 singles like a few weeks before the album. Like he'll release a single a month before the album, then like a couple weeks before, and then like a couple of days before. Then he'll just drop the album, and I'm just like, just give me the whole album.
Yeah.
Gotta like the lead up.
He does it. He's been doing it with like pretty much almost all of his albums, I would say now. But
Interesting.
His debut album, every song on here is like a freaking hit. Like actually, but crazy stuff. Crazy album. Go listen to it.
I expect to see him at least 2 more times on this list.
Okay.
All right, David, give us your 10.
Alex, you're gonna have to make it. All right. My number 10 is okay.
Okay.
Not that I had to remember it. I just wanted to see it in my eyes. Streams of Thought Volume 2 by Black Thought.
Oh shit!
Which is
shit!
an EP actually, which is my favorite EP of all time actually. So there you go. I think this project is basically perfect. The only thing that makes it number 10 is that it's like 22 minutes long. So you just want more. Yeah, but
Wow.
It's incredibly replayable though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
How many tracks?
when
is that?
9 tracks. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It is kind of like magic though, because it feels like a full album in a way, just the way it's structured, and like It's crazy, dude. So it starts out with like a few like decent length tracks, and then there's like a few like 1 minute tracks in the middle, and then it like lengthens out again, so you don't know what to expect. And it's Black Thought rapping. Salam Remy produces the entire album, and it gives it this feel of like live instrumentation. I think the subtitle for it was Traxploitation because it's like a 70s like blaxploitation film, like sort of like funk and like stuff like instrumentals and stuff like that. So it's pretty different. Like it's not just okay, he's an old school rapper, he's rapping over boom bap or whatever, or he's trying trap. It's like, yeah, it's kind of boom bappy, but it's also kind of like funk and like some soul in there at the end and everything.
Yep.
And just the rapping is just flawless. Like there's
Can't beat it.
yeah, you just
If you know, you know. With Black Thought, honestly.
like yeah, you can point to any like song, like my least favorite song on the album, and just say, oh, here's freaking one of the best lines you've heard in years. It's like and just the way he structures his verses and his rhyme schemes just make it flow all together so well. And there's no rap features, it's just him. You have like some singing at the end. Conception is a great conceptual track and the perfect way to end it. I don't know.
Streets is such a fucking banger too.
It is, yeah. I know. It has,
There's a line on there that I like always clung to, which was your rhymes is EMO, mine's is non-GMO.
I was about to say
It's the most quotable line of all time.
That's funny.
Trevor always quotes that, yeah. But it's I mean, I could sit here and read it like it's a book of poetry or something, but just
Facts.
listen to it. It's short and yeah, beautiful,
Short.
poetic, hard hitting,
Dope.
unique.
I'm all here for it.
Definitely
that's a
will.
good-
I remember I liked Volume 3 a lot, and then you were like, by the way, Volume 2 is better. And I was like, okay, good, cool, awesome. I was like,
Yeah.
better than this? Sounds good. Like, awesome.
I
So,
would
yeah.
agree. Yeah,
No, that's dope.
yeah. There you go.
All right. So, number 9, moving on to the 9s, right? With your boy.
Oh baby, this is crazy.
Number 9 for me has been reviewed on the podcast.
Uh
It is To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick
oh.
Lamar.
Ooh, yeah.
Number 9.
This is
White
one.
boys here.
If you go back and listen to that episode, I'd at some point definitely say something about with more listens, I'll like this album even better than I do right now. And that was a correct prediction. I know myself kind of well, it turns out. So yeah, even I haven't listened to it, too much. I won't say I'm spinning it every day, but I've given it another couple listens since we reviewed it and everything, and I like it even better than I did then. So yeah, I mean, just a utter masterpiece. I mean, I'm gonna get into it further with the concept of I like with an album it being having a top and a bottom basically, so it runs like I love an album that runs front to back, front to back, that you can see it kind of grow and evolve, and that's like very solidly done with the poem that like gradually assembles itself throughout like the back half of the album or whenever it starts. And then, but there's also just, standalone tracks that you can play that are just bangers, but then everything, is cohesive and works together very well as well. So, yeah. To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Good album. I mean, we don't even have to tell you that we have an entire episode dedicated to this masterpiece. So
Yeah, it's just like one of those things that's commonly accepted as a masterpiece. And you're like, well, all right, I guess it's a classic. It came out like 5 years ago, almost 6 now, but
yeah,
everyone kind of knew it. Yeah,
It's
great
got,
pick. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I like I said, I love the more I listen to it because you get into more into the themes and the what he's trying to do artistically, not like throughout the album as opposed to just one song at a time. So that's what makes it so good to me.
Yeah, and it's like his rapping just layers on top of like itself, and he just like everything, like random lines in one track will like hint at the theme of the album and like what's gonna happen on the next track, and like it's just so complex and crazy.
It's
gotta love that.
It's the Kendrick classic where I'll go back and listen to it like later on today and like pick up on new stuff, even though I've already listened to it however many times. So yeah.
I always pick up on new stuff, and I don't know how many times I listen to it. It's crazy.
There's just too much to catch.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right. I guess my number 9 is fucking Banger City, brothers. It is Metal Resistance by Baby Metal.
Ah, dang, it had to
Baby
be.
Metal.
Baby Metal,
Yeah.
brother. We had a running joke that whenever Diva got knocked out of her mech, that I would call her Baby Metal, and I would just be like, "Yo, kill Baby Metal! Fucking kill Baby Metal! She's literally on the point!" Like,
Because
Yeah.
that was the most infuriating bullshit is when she has whatever 100 health she has, and then like she like pings you 12 times with that little pistol, and then she's just back
just-
in the
you're
fucking
done.
mech with 500 health.
yeah.
It's like
Uh-huh.
anyone who plays Overwatch knows that frustration immediately. So yeah, when you get Diva out of mech, you delete that bitch.
And
That's
it's not culturally like correct to call her Baby Metal because she's Korean and they're from Japan, but I did what I could. So
Well,
Awesome.
people call her Baby Diva, so
It's like
True.
Baby Metal, like she's in a mech. Yeah, I figured that was it too.
oh, there you go.
I actually,
double entendre.
fun fact, I didn't realize that was a reference to anything for the longest time. I thought you just started calling Diva Baby Metal like by herself. I thought that was just a name assigned to her that wasn't actually I thought it might have been, but I just like wasn't thinking about it too hard. So anyway, your album.
I've had the pleasure of seeing these beautiful women live, and they kill even harder than they do on the studio efforts that they have. But
Wow.
dang.
the writings on the wall with the title of the album, Metal Resistance. It's metal mixed with like soaring Japanese pop vocals. It's unreal. There's like riffs on here that'll challenge any Metallica riff or any other riff of all time. Like it's so meaty sometimes.
Mm.
It's just got some beautiful moments. There's the closer, the one I think on the actual like release of the album, it's sung in English and it's so beautiful.
Hmm.
But this album just does so much in its like short amount of time, and I can't understand a damn word they're saying. But
I was gonna say, do you ever try to like look up the lyrics, or it doesn't matter, right? Like,
it doesn't matter to me honestly,
Mhm.
but I should because they might be racist. You know, who knows? Like they might
Yeah,
be
dang.
blatantly awful. But I sing along to the the karate melodies all the time, and I think I used to blare this when we played Overwatch anyway. So it's
I
it's
gotta
great
listen to this
album.
album.
It's like
yeah.
utter
Yeah.
condemnation of the American way of life, and like that Florida is the worst thing in existence, and you're just like,
I'm totally
let's
down
go, yeah.
with that. Totally down with that.
You'd be down with that, yeah.
Figures out the
Yeah,
lyrics
Super-
and still
super
bangs out.
recommendation. It's a great
That is
album.
funny.
Dang,
Very groovy.
Mm,
All right,
nice.
Alejandro.
All right, so my number 9 is "Only by the Night" by Kings of Leon.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
Didn't expect
Is this
that.
their debut?
No, it's their 4th album.
Mm.
Just the track list. I take a look at the track list. "Closer," "Sex on Fire," "Manhattan."
Oh, this is the one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dang.
you somebody's on there, right?
"Use Somebody," "Be Somebody."
Yeah.
Like, fam,
What?
all these songs are just like, oh my goodness. Like, I don't listen to too much of that genre. You got a question, Cam?
The fact that "This Sex Is on Fire" was just on the radio when I was like 10 was outrageous.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was
Dang.
10,
They
but
can't
like
say Glock.
But like I was just like in the car with my mom, and it's just like, "This sex is on fire," and it's just like,
Yeah. Said that.
or no, that's not I don't know. I know the song you're talking about, and I think I just quoted a different one, but
Sex is on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. Yeah.
but Jesus. Anyway, continue. I was just that you just unlocked a memory I forgot I had, basically. So anyway,
There you go.
Continue.
Yeah, man, this album, just all the tracks, they got a certain feel. Their instrumentation is so beautiful to listen to. It just sets you in that right mood, for me at least.
Hmm.
It's something I've been listening to since it came out. So 2008,
Oh, dang.
my mom played it a lot. So
Ah.
This one's definitely been on my list for a while. So
yeah, give it a listen. There's some dope melodies that are very scintillating.
Scintillating. Nice.
All right.
Alrighty.
I'm
Nice
always.
word.
we're gonna move on before he pops a chub.
Okay, brother.
Hey, it happens.
Don't say that.
Number 9, David.
Oh, it's my turn already, huh? Wow, dude. Number 9.
He's surprised that it's a rotation and it comes back around.
Yeah. So I went from the shortest album on my list. I don't know if this is my longest. It's one of my longest. A freaking classic, brother. Stroking his beard. City of Evil by Avenged Sevenfold.
He held it in just long enough to get the artist off.
Yes, dude.
The second you said longest, I was like, City of Evil. I fucking knew it. I knew it.
God
This
damn.
album is dummy long, bro.
Dummy thick. It is dummy
dang.
thick.
When I used to listen to this, like on my way back to Tallahassee, going back to college and stuff, it would be like, because I'm listening to this all in my car in one thing. So it feels like I just, like when I'm done, it's like, bruh, I just went on this freaking trip through the desert. I'm freaking exhausted, but it was so worth it. Like, I just feel fully satisfied musically.
Yeah.
And basically, we've talked about Avenged Sevenfold a little bit. We didn't talk about this album. I feel like this is probably their most like fan beloved album or something, or the most critically acclaimed.
I'm definitely agreeing with you on that.
Yeah, there's definitely debate to be had over which is your favorite and that kind of thing. But this to me just has the most. The instrumentals are so complex, and like the energy they have. This is full on, like they had Jimmy with them, and like everything was just firing on all cylinders. They got the money, like they get signed and everything. It was their big like transition. Yeah, they transitioned out of metalcore to like just more hard rock or whatever, and they were just on a ton of drugs, and they had like the energy to keep going and like writing apparently, because like. I don't know. It blows my mind when I listen to it, because there's so many like instrumental transitions and stuff, and like long is for like most of the songs are like 6 minutes or above. They got like 9-minute, 8-minute songs, and M Shadows is just singing his freaking head off like the entire
God,
song.
man.
Just like
He just does not stop.
Yeah, which the only thing that like on my first listen barred me from enjoying it was like his voice, which is it's super nasally on this album, so you have to get used to that.
Yep.
But once I did, like I also couldn't hear a freaking single word he was saying. But once I started picking up,
I can only
on
understand half of it. Honestly,
yeah,
but...
now I'm about half of it. But it's just wow, dude. It's a little bit mind-boggling. Strength of the World is one of my favorite Avenged Sevenfold songs.
Brother,
Fantastic.
that fucking solo is oh my god, that shit is soul crushing.
They'll just do stuff you don't expect. They'll bring in a freaking string section. They'll start just doing group vocals out of nowhere. Trashed and Scattered just has like insane manic freaking energy, like in the best way. Burn It Down. I don't know.
Burn It Down is awesome.
Yeah.
Blinded in Chains is awesome
Blinded in
as well.
Chains,
I
yeah.
always look forward to his little double kick trick that he does at like the 3-minute mark.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck he does with that, but he's insane.
The drum fills are always on point. Like they go crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So even the Sidewinder, don't forget about Sidewinder. Like that
Sidewinder.
that last like 2.5 minutes where they just
The-
go ham on like the acoustics. Oh my
guitars. Yeah. It's unreal. And I think freaking Avenged Sevenfold is underrated, you freaking sucker. Who's reviewing rock music out there? I don't care.
Wow.
This freaking album is a masterpiece. Frick off. Every
Golly,
song on here is
dude.
great.
I'm in
Alright.
total agreement with you, my brother.
Let him know, David.
There you go.
Alright.
Good God. All right, moving on to the 8th spot then.
Yeah.
All right. Your boy is coming in here with his number 8, which is The College Dropout by one Kanye West.
Ooh.
Alright, that's dope.
Love that album.
I believe I finally got into Kanye after planning on doing so when I was talking to Trevor. This is years ago. This is probably 2.5 years ago, something like that. And I was like, Trevor, if you were going to recommend me like any 5 albums, like what would you do? And he sent me a list of like, if I could go back, it wasn't like his top 5, but it was like, if I could go back and experience these for the first time again, this is the 5 that I would give you. And I believe Nightmare was on there by Avenged.
Probably.
But also The College Dropout was on there. And I listened to it and I absolutely loved it. I mean, because Kanye, I mean, it's, you know, it's bars, it's beats, it's everything, but there's a good little bit of social commentary in there and stuff about the struggle of his come up. And I mean, it's his like formal introduction to the game, right? Essentially is,
And it's incredibly relatable.
Yeah, it's
It's
incredibly
incredibly
relatable.
It's not like he's not rapping from a plateau where you can't even reach him. He's rapping from like a mall employee's perspective, stealing jeans. You know,
Yeah.
people. A lot of people have been there. So
Mhm.
Yeah, Spaceship is one of my favorite tracks on there. Just because it's so, I love the origin story of like, you know, like I'm just doing all this shit like just on my grind, and like the system feels rigged against me because it is, and like all this shit. And so just his experience like as a young black man in the world, like trying to make his way by doing whatever he can, and We Don't Care is one of the best like satirical is not the right word, but the fact that it's such like a happy upbeat is like, I got the perfect kids for the song to sing, and it's like, and it's the line is like, drug dealing just to get by, stack your money till it gets sky high, which is a
I got
paradox.
the perfect kids for the song to sing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a paradox of like
Alex,
I got the perfect kids song for the kids to sing. But yeah, it's like this happy upbeat thing, but it's just about how people are like struggling day by day to do everything they can just to live paycheck to paycheck to like feed their kids and keep their lights on and shit. And it's like, you're drug dealing just to get by, stack your money till it gets sky high, is like the idea of the government villainizing drug dealers as like people trying to get rich quick, or like villainizing or like corrupting communities for their own profit. It's like the system is just so rigged that they're forced to deal drugs to like feed their family. Like that's and I think Jay talks about that as well when he's like when he talks about selling crack in the corner and everything. So he has a lot of bars about that.
allegedly.
Well, sure, whatever.
Allegedly.
So yeah, but just a great album, honestly.
Great album for sure.
It's
I remember coming at you guys. I was like, yeah, I don't really like the spoken part on Never Let Me Down, and you were like, the spoken part on Never Let Me Down, and I was like, it's spoken word, Cameron, like listen to it like poetry, not like beat rap. And I was like, yeah, he's off beat, and it's like, you dickhead, like listen to the song how it's meant to be listened to. And I like went back with that in mind, and I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing. So this is why I like when I come at you guys with, you know, terrible first takes, I understand, you know. I can readjust my perspective and enjoy the thing that's meant to be enjoyed. So yeah, I enjoyed it on first listen. I enjoyed it coming back to it with a new perspective. It's just a great album.
We all have terrible first takes from time to time. It happens. And
Yeah.
this album was so close to my list of my honorable mentions. It's so well produced. A variety of stuff he does right on this album, like brother, the soul sound.
Mm-hmm.
God,
It's
dang.
the Kanye sound. Yeah,
It's completely.
no one did it before him.
Yeah, it's the opposite of him now, where he's just completely down to earth. Like he was like seen as one of the most down to earth, relatable rappers. Like
Facts.
Like
It's like not even a question, honestly.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
great.
Well, it's me now, huh? I'm gonna come at you guys with some red hot white boy music.
Red Hot
I
Chili
actually
Peppers?
no, I wish. Red Hot Chili Peppers are underrated too. I'm joking, they're not. Yeah, they're very rated
I
for
think
sure.
they're pretty perfectly rated.
They're
pretty rated, yeah.
They're rated.
I've actually played this album for David on the podcast when we were playing, or not the podcast, when we were playing DOA. It is The Finer Things by State Champs. And
Death of Auto-Tune?
Death of Auto-Tune.
DOA?
No. That's a great track though.
It is.
This is like super modern pop or pop punk, as you would say. They're like the front runners of the genre right now. Like they're probably up near like all-time low level in terms of popularity. And I've seen them, I think 3 times now. And the last time I saw them, I was in a mosh pit that was like, it was the most friendly mosh pit I've ever been in. And like there was no violence. It was just straight, just jump. Every song just jump. It's so poppy. It's feel good music. It's a little aggressive too. Like his delivery and the instrumentation is actually very complex for the genre, at least in my eyes. It's just very fast paced, very happy music. I dig it a lot. So
Wow, that's a lot of fun.
That's it. Yeah. That's all I got to say on it.
Dope.
That is super dope.
Yeah.
All right, my number 8 is 21
21.
By Adele?
by Adele.
Holy shit. Wow, okay.
Wow.
I love Adele.
No,
Adele is good.
Adele's fire.
Yeah.
Yep, 21 is such
Wow,
a
I didn't. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I respect that. Dang.
It's only one of the highest selling albums of all time.
Only.
Only.
But she's doing the thing. I mean,
No, she does the
even
damn
with
thing on there.
even with what was 25.
Oh,
Too,
yeah.
that one's dope. It's not as good. I like it. I still like it a lot. It's definitely not. But 21. Oh,
21 is crazy. What's your
has
favorite
Rolling
track on
in the
there, though?
No.
Rolling
Because
in the Deep.
I'll Be
I don't
Waiting
know.
is mine. I'll Be Waiting is so good.
I'll Be Waiting is good. I think I like Rolling in the Deep the most.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
But it's hard to choose. It's really hard to choose from that album.
I'll be
Mm.
waiting.
There was
For you.
definitely, as soon as that came out, several of the tracks off there were just like constant rotation on the radio stations. Just like
Yeah, I know.
you couldn't take a 15-minute drive without hearing Adele for like months. It was nuts.
Rumor
Oh,
has it.
Fire to the Rain is here too. That's right.
Yeah, Set Fire.
Yeah,
There's another one. We're missing one. Somebody that you miss or somebody you use
From the other side, is that
No.
that album?
That's not Hello. No.
Hello from the other side.
No.
Yeah.
That's on 25.
Yeah,
That song
Gang
Chasing
Turning
Pavements.
Tables.
Yeah.
Turning Tables.
Rumor
missing
has
one.
it.
No, we're
Yeah.
missing one.
Chasing Pavements is that song?
Don't you
What's that
remember?
Someone Like You.
Okay,
Well,
there you
Someone
go.
Like You.
That's a big one to miss.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's the
Yeah.
closer
That's like-
on there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big album.
Guarantee that you've heard several songs on here.
Yeah,
if you live
there's
in America.
But I had to put Adele on my top 10. I just had to.
That's
Yeah.
dope. I applaud you
America
for that.
or the UK. I think I was looking up when I was trying to do Family Feud for the Drunk podcast. I was trying to make my own questions, and I was trying to do something about like top selling albums and decades and whatever. And it, like Adele just like was running shit, especially in the UK. That like just on the top of the chart for weeks on weeks on weeks on months. Like,
She sold like 25 sold like 3 million copies in its first week.
yeah,
Like
it's-
she like shattered all thought of how we consume music. She was just on top.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
she was the game for several months. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
They were
That's
playing
dope.
her shit at Best Buy when I was at a Black Friday
Best
sale
Buy.
one time. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That's a really good
There's, like,
conclusion,
awesome.
Alex. Yeah.
At Best Buy.
A great
Good shit.
vocalist too. Yeah. Amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess it's me now.
yes, sir.
I suppose.
How fitting that it's this album.
Ooh.
I don't know why. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West.
There you
Yep.
go.
There you go,
Alright.
man.
How fitting, 'cause we
So
got
this
two-
one made
two
it, but
Kanye
not
credits.
College Dropout. Holy piss.
I know, yeah. It's a tough one. I love College Dropout as my first Kanye album. Remember how I felt when I listened to that, but god dang, brother. I mean, first of all, this is like one of the most talked about albums of the decade. Like it's on freaking, Pitchfork's top 2 or whatever the frick and everything like that.
Yep.
But it's also my favorite, so I get to put it on here and be unoriginal, but it's fine. It's definitely one of the best produced albums I've ever heard. The first, 10 songs or whatever are all just unbelievably good. Like, that's the strength for me. It's just you get one hip hop song after another. That's like one of the best freaking hip hop songs I've ever heard. And you're like, bro, this is next. And then like you get Devil in a New Dress, one of my favorite beats of all time.
Yeah.
Like every time I hear it, climbs up in my favorite freaking hip hop list.
I feel that way about Monster.
Monster's amazing. Power, like they're all amazing until
Yeah, Power still gives me goosebumps whenever I hear the beginning.
when the beat. Yeah, it's like it's perfect. I don't know. It's
And if you don't think you've heard this album, you've definitely heard all
You've
of the
heard,
lights. So
all
yeah,
the
you've heard all the lights.
Alright,
You've
yeah.
heard Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there's so many elements coming together. It's described as a maximalist album sometimes because he just uses every instrument in the world, and then he's got 40 freaking features on some of the songs, and he's just putting everything together just to make this freaking nutty freaking album. The only thing that knocks it down, honestly, I wanted to put it higher, but when it hits Blame Game, I'm like, bruh, I do not like Blame Game. So
I'm cool. I'll Blame Game.
and then just the end of the album, Lost in the World isn't my favorite either, and it just doesn't quite live up to the standard of the rest of the album to me. I mean, that's a good song,
It
honestly.
is a good song. I feel that way about that. I'm gonna give you all a hot take. I'm not a big fan of Runaway.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Not my style, but
Tisk,
One of my-
tisk.
I
That's one of my
totally see
favorite
why
songs.
people love it. But not mine.
Love Runaway.
That-
Yeah.
So Appalled. I'm cool on So Appalled too, but
Don't be
everything
cool on it. I mean, it's not the best song on there,
I'm cool
but
on it, man. that hook,
All the jokes.
that hook, I can't do
Oh
it.
my god.
I'm
Pusha
so
T.
appalled that you would say this to me.
I'm so
Jay-Z,
appalled.
Kanye, Pusha.
That's a layup.
Oh,
It's a better. Sci-Hi's on there too, so
yes, I have.
can't hate the rapping,
Yeah.
but not the hook.
Dang. Yeah,
That is
that's
a
about yeah, that's about it. Not too much more to say about the album that everyone hasn't already said.
Hasn't been said, yeah.
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 Graduation's better.
It's
No.
it's interesting doing this for the podcast because this was a 3-hour conversation that we had at one point of like where do you rank the Kanye albums and all that stuff. So it's
Mhm.
interesting
hard.
doing it with the third party in mind, but as opposed to you guys just
Yeah.
debating each other. So,
Yep.
Yeah. My
but yeah,
favorite
maybe
Kanye
maybe
album.
we'll do
Classic
that as
album.
an episode at some point.
At the end of the day, whatever you feel about Kanye, it's a classic album. He's got 5 classic, or basically 5 classic albums, so
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of nutty.
can't really beat him.
All right, so we got 2 Kanye albums in the round of 8s.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Kevin, my resident
Number-
Kanye stan.
7.
I think A Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his favorite Kanye album as well. So
There you go.
there you go.
It's hard to beat.
Dope.
We're on number 7.
So number 7
Let's keep this shit moving.
from your boy is wait a second.
Wait.
Big Sean's
Brother.
2017 release, I Decided.
Okay.
I listened
This
to
is
this all throughout the winter of 2017. I think it came out in February, so February, March, whatever.
Factory. It came out in February.
Yeah, it was my freshman year of college. Every time I went to the shower, I had moves or bounce back on at least
Facts.
once.
Facts.
So yeah, just on there you got moves and bounce back, which are just 2 outright bangers. You can put those on at any party, you'll get the crowd moving. I'm
808
feeling it.
macro.
I think Moves is one of the tracks that Trevor and I have interpolated bullshit over
Fam.
so fucking
Fam.
often.
Do you know how many times I've like screamed that along to this album, like on mic with you? This
Yeah.
is like I lost my vocal cords to this song.
Yeah, it's just
It's
the
crazy.
the like spiral rabbit holes that Trevor and I go down where it's like I got the moves. Well, city make the city move. Oh, it's like and it's just like it just doesn't make any freaking sense, but we kill each other laughing.
make
So
the
it's
city
like
move.
that's an element to this album where I was talking about earlier of like a lot of these are ranked as high as they are because of how and when and the manner in which I experienced them, and who I talked about them with, the experiences I had with this kind of music in the background, whatever. So I Decided is definitely up there at number 7 for a lot of those reasons.
Sacrifices is a very underrated Big Sean song, and I never hear anyone talk about
Yeah.
it when
Yeah.
they discuss it. Sacrifices.
But yeah, there's on here there's a great mix of just straight party bangers, like I said, moves and bounce back, but there's others on there as well that I'm not gonna name off the top of my head. But also it's also a pretty introspective album. It's like a he refers to his conscience, a character that like could be seen as his conscience a lot when he's talking about his sort of like inklings of his mental health and like staying in contact with his family. And the intro track isn't a track; it's just a skit. It's just this guy talking about like, I've done this for however long and I feel like I've wasted my life. Like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be out here, man. And then there's like a screech of tires and stuff and some accident occurs and then it just like goes straight into the album. And so throughout there's a lot of introspective, sort of like more moody, make you think kind of songs that are just about his emotional state and about how he views the world and everything, and about how he feels he affects in the world and how the world affects him and all this good stuff. So it's you're gonna bop your head, but you're also gonna be like, okay, I see what you're doing there, and like the beat slows down and he gets a little poetic on you. So it's great. It ebbs and flows like that, and it has the skits at the end where he's like I said, battling kind of with his conscience and with his inner morality. So it's a really good album, front to back. It ties together really well. So yeah,
It's dope.
Nice.
All right. Speaking of really good albums, lucky number 7.
What we're doing, yeah.
Lucky number 7.
I would hope so.
It's got good in the title. It is
Oh
Good
my
Kid,
freaking
Mad
God.
City by Mr.
Okay,
Kendrick Lamar.
okay.
You know
Number
this had to be on
7.
there.
I knew it. Okay.
That's
I
gotta
was
be
so
on there.
scared that it would be the honorable mention you were talking
Yeah,
about.
I can't.
but-
I can't do that.
That
Yeah.
would have
This-
been egregious.
This is
Yeah.
like like I'm not gonna say this is the album that got me into rap because like I was an Eminem stan for however long, but this was like the real rap intro. Like it's
Yeah.
like I can't even say a whole lot on it because it's just like it's already been said. This album is a complete masterpiece. We were talking about To Pimp a Butterfly. This guy has like an insane discography, and it's the reason
Mhm.
why we're still fiending for another album because he just doesn't
Mhm.
miss.
Yeah.
This album came out almost 9 years ago now, and it still hits
crazy.
like any other. It's
Yeah.
like the perfect concept album of kid surviving in the streets, doing what he has to, and becoming a better person and giving back to his community. It's like it's tied up in a great bow, and it's
Yeah.
fuck. It's so good. It is so goddamn good. I'm not even gonna name off the tracks. Just go listen to it. Seriously, like just do yourself a favor.
I mean, yeah, if you haven't, I mean, the production is so good. It's accessible, I feel like, to any hip hop fan, but then once you just listen and listen again, the depth of it just keeps hitting you.
It's
Absolutely.
insanity.
Like,
How we were talking about how like he'll nod to tracks and themes like earlier in the album. He does that the entire time. Like
yeah.
every
Yes, sir.
song will end and like there's like a 2-second part where that you'll catch where like did somebody say dominoes and like it'll fucking connect to the next song like theme and you don't know it when you first hear it, but then you go back and you're like,
yeah.
bruh, like
Yeah.
get your freestyle. Like I got a pack of blacks and a beat CD. Get your freestyles ready, and then it goes into backseat freestyle. Like
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
it's so effortless for him.
It's
Yeah.
fully connected. Yeah.
Production is
masterpiece.
ridiculous. Yeah. It's mixed perfectly. Like, yeah, great one.
A lot of great shit on there. Yeah,
Man,
shout out to Kendrick.
Love
Drop
to
the
see
album,
it.
pussy.
you love to
Same with
see it.
Drake. Drop the goddamn album, please.
Yeah, the fact that damn
no one
was
cares
that,
about your surgery.
Oh my
damn,
God.
that's rough, buddy. I don't even know how he
Yeah.
tore his ACL. I never actually looked into that.
he probably didn't.
He
But-
probably
Partying
did.
too hard, man.
Yeah, that's
No,
fake.
it's conspiracy theory.
All right.
Conspiracy theory. We're
Well,
starting
It's
it
an
now.
interesting take.
Mhm.
All right, Alex.
Well, if you do not attempt being wealthy, then you will perish attempting because
Oh!
money
Oh, okay.
is get rich or die trying
Nice.
by
Wow.
Mr. 50 Cent. Let me tell you about this album, man. The track list alone, it speaks for itself. You patiently waiting in the club.
Mm-hmm.
And the club's crazy.
PIMP.
You just totally missed fucking What Up Gangsta, bruh. Chill.
What up,
Best
gangsta,
song
bro?
on there.
You're right. Many Men, though. Many Men. Every time I listen to Many Men, it goes up for me.
Yeah.
Dang.
Many Men.
What-
wait, yeah.
Dude, that opening line on What Up Gangsta still gets me, though.
Yeah.
They say I walk
Mm.
around with an S on my chest. Now that's a semi-auto with a vest on
With a
my
vest
chest.
on my chest.
Bruh.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
Ah.
Such a good.
Freaking patiently
the game
waiting
by
has
storm.
the M verse.
Oh yeah, great Eminem verse. Great 50 verses too. Like
Yeah.
he'll like start rapping
absolutely.
like super freaking lyrically when he wants to, and then go in.
Yeah, this is the this is the epitome of a rap album because 50 he came out with this album, man, killing it. That's
Yeah,
Literally.
a solid recommendation for any hip hop fan.
one of the biggest. Went diamond. I mean,
Yep.
Just took over
One of the
commercial.
only certified diamond rap albums.
Yeah,
It's like only
Yeah.
10 of them.
Yeah, I think I've never made a concerted effort to listen to any 50 Cent, but I'm pretty sure I've heard all those songs you just listed multiple times. So
You
yeah,
definitely heard
that's just
21
how that-
Questions in the club.
Yeah.
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 In the club, you definitely heard it in the club.
yeah, definitely heard in the club. Yeah,
the beats. Yeah, in the club is like one of my favorite beats. It's so.
If I
well-
can't.
If I can't.
If I-
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my lord. Yeah, we're just gonna gush over this shit. I also like Poor Little Rich on there too.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that's cool.
That's a great song. For
he
me.
doesn't really miss. It's so catchy and so freaking just. You just.
It's violently catchy.
That's-
violently
There's a
catchy.
track. There's a track there. I think
I
it's,
like that.
Is it? It's either
Heat.
Heat. Yeah, where he literally cocks a gun for the snare. Like
There's
it's
a
that's-
gun
that's
in the
nasty.
beat. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Gunshot in the beat.
know.
The fucking album starts off with a 6-second skit of like a fucking bullet dropping and hitting the ground. Like
yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
that's
and
his, that's his
PIMP
brand.
has the steel drum, which is
Happy Steel Drum is
that
great
steel
on
drum
this.
is catchy.
Yeah. Oh my
Good
god.
album.
That's my number 7.
Certified
Yeah.
classic.
Super solid.
Hype.
Freaking commercial hip hop.
Yes, sir.
Money man.
Money
right.
man.
All right, David, give us your 7th.
Okay, everybody. Another freaking super talked about album. I feel like I'm gonna look like a basic freaking Zoomer music fan. Freaking
Oh, here we go.
the 2010s with this, but 'tis fine because I love these albums. Blonde by Frank Ocean.
Man.
No, good pick. That's a good pick.
Frank is definitely one that I keep on hearing people say like this is my favorite artist in existence, and I've just never actually dipped my toe in those waters. So
Is
He's
Chanel
a
on
water
that
to dip
album?
in, that's for sure.
No, Chanel came out right after that, just as a single.
Oh.
Chanel's good though. Chanel.
I know I've heard Chanel in GTA.
Oh yeah, he has some songs from this.
He
on
also has
GP.
Nights on there, right?
Nights. Yeah, he has
Nights
Crack
on-
Rock off of Channel Orange. He's one of my favorite artists, probably.
Crack Rock.
Channel
Blonde.
Orange is my favorite for him. But
Yeah, it's a lot of people. There's the debate, but Blonde is one of the most unique albums I've ever heard. Very minimally produced, minimalistic album. A lot of the songs, most of the songs don't have drums on them. They're just like very finely tuned, like ambiance or freaking like an organ in the background, and that's the entire instrumental or something like that.
yeah,
And then he just his vocals and his storytelling and his weird like offbeat lyrics like just carry it. And then there's so many songs that I just am always thinking of, like get you in your feels and your freaking self control.
you told me that he was like the vocalist that like could enunciate any kind of emotion that he felt he could. Like
He's one of my favorite singers. He's like him and Johnny Cash are probably my two favorite singers of all time. And you got Nikes. It just starts out sad and freaking it just stays sad for a while. It's just a very sad album. Very beautiful.
okay.
Self control nights freaking is just oh my god, it just sticks in my head. I don't know. Like nothing else.
I wish I could like it like you do. I need a little more energy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm just
I need
Man.
drums.
Solo has one of my favorite choruses of all time.
Is that that's not the one with Andre, right?
No, that's the solo reprise. Yeah, Andre
Reprise.
3000 comes in. Yeah, solo is
With
oh
his
my
one
God.
verse a year thing that he does.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. It takes a while to get into, maybe, but I feel like I don't know, whatever. Freaking getting emotionally wrecked by a minimalistic freaking R&B, post R&B, whatever the frick album.
You could call us R&B.
Yeah, he's I
Sounds
guess
good.
so.
I could be in the market for some of that coming up here. So yeah,
Yeah.
Sad boy music.
sad boy.
Imagine
music.
if you're-
Sometimes
if you're
you
going-
just got to be sad boy.
I imagine if
looking
you're
to
going through a
purchase
breakup
R&B.
and you're listening to this, you're gonna end up like flooding the freaking your bedroom with freaking tears. Like, just be careful with that. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Yeah, that
I'm,
take care of you pretty much.
I'm
set.
decently far removed from that, so I'll be all right on that metric. I think
Just for anyone in general. Yeah.
for
yeah,
anyone
I
in
get-
general. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope. All right, let's
Yeah.
get it. Number 6.
All right. Numero 6. You've been waiting for it. You've been
Oh, boy.
asking for it. You knew it was gonna be on here. My number 6 is Bobby Tarantino 2 by Logic,
Oh boy.
in which Trevor holds his head in his hands.
We love to hear.
So-
Yuck. Over to Pimp a Butterfly, by the way. Over to Pimp a Butterfly. Let that be known.
So this is
College
where
dropout. Oh my fucking god.
this is where
Yeah, I'm getting. I don't even know what this is, but I'm
the
getting
subjective
as Trevor says
enjoyment comes in heavy.
Yeah.
that. Subjective
Okay.
enjoyment.
I
All
work
right,
hard
let's-
every
I said-
let's
motherfucking
hear
day.
this
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
That's one of the weaker
Let's
tracks
hear
on
it.
there for sure. So this album came out in the spring of what, 2018?
March 2018. Yeah.
March 2018. So, going on in my life at that point was, it was spring break, and I took a spring break up to Deerfield Beach in Florida, which was like an hour or so north of Miami. And I hung out there with a house that my mom had rented for the week, and I started just listening to this album over and over again. when I was out walking the dog, just sitting around the house doing whatever. And so going on in my life at that time, I had finally like come to a head with my depression and was like, I need to do something about this, like medically, like I need to actually like turn this around. And so I came to that head, basically realized I hated computer science and didn't want to work in it anymore. This is like the frickin' New Beginnings episode all over again. So basically transition out of computer science, finally felt like free of that, like of those bonds, if you will, of like being tied down to that being my future. Finally decided to do something about my depression. So I went and saw a psychiatrist and like got prescribed something and got set up with therapy and everything. So I'm like feeling good there. And I was starting to talk to and like falling in love with my now ex. At that time. And so I was just like, this was the soundtrack of me like taking hold of my life for the first time, basically, in like the last several years. And so that's when it comes in. And so in that weekend, shout out my boy Nagady. My boy Nagady's been listening to these podcasts like more and more recently. So this is for you, homie. And I told him the story last time I saw him about like how all these things came together. And this is like one of my happiest memories of like, he came down, he was vacationing with his family not too far away from Deerfield Beach. So we met up, took a boat out on the water for a day, just like crushed Coronas out on the water, came back, like ordered one of the biggest pizzas I've ever had in my life. Frickin' like crushed a few more tweez, sobered up a little, and then we just went out on the dock and sat out on the dock, like staring at the sunset and like watching it go down, and then like staring at the super romantic, like super great time with the boy.
Yeah, super gay.
With just one guy. Just super romantic time with one guy.
Fantastic.
So yeah, sometimes you just gotta have a romantic evening with the homie. Sometimes you just gotta have a romantic evening with the homie. And so we sat there and I played this album in the background because he hadn't heard it yet and he likes it too, and it's got one of the best weed smoking songs in the world on there. So we just sat there and we were drunk and we were just ripping my pen, talking about like the past, the present, and the future, and just like all our lives, and that was playing in the background, and that's like one of the happiest memories I have in my life. And so like I just carried that feeling basically through listening to this album over and over again throughout that spring and everything. And so it's just like, that's why, I mean, I like his flow, I like his rhymes, I don't think the beats on there miss like at all. So it's just a good album in general. I think like even without that subjective enjoyment, I think you guys way underrate it as a good album.
Nope.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Nope.
You're allowed your incorrect opinion. That's okay. But I don't think a lot of the beats on there miss. Overnight is the intro. I also love that the fucking Grandpa's Spaceship, the intro with Rick and Morty. I was like super into Rick and Morty at the time, and I still am. I fucking love that show to death. So that was super funny to me. That they actually got the creator to do both voices and whatever and intro the thing. He's like, play some.
That's funny.
Meet me in the middle. Play some Bobby Tarantino. Like, and it's like Spaceship, play Bobby Tarantino, and then Overnight kicks in. And Overnight is like a content creator's album to me, because it's like this shit don't happen overnight. It's like all about staying on your grind. Like everyone's gonna pretend like, you know, this just happened to you through luck or whatever, but it's all through hard work. And so that's kind of the content creator anthem. That's what I think about when I'm like editing the podcast for hours on end and all that stuff, is like all this work will pay off and all that good stuff. So and then there's one of the in my opinion one of the harder intros to a song is like I think it's Contra, and he's like, my name is Paul Rothenberg, attorney at law, and I hereby ratify and confirm that logic is motherfucking paid. And it just like the beat drops and it's good as fuck. It's cheesy as hell, but I love it. So I don't know.
I get it.
There's a lot of tracks on there. I don't skip, I don't think, a single song on there. There's definitely weaker tracks, but and ones that if I'm only searching out a couple, I'll play just like Overnight. Indica Body is the one on there that I said is like a great smoking song. It's so funny. It's got a great whiz verse.
Adventures of Stony Bob would like to have a word with you.
Adventures of Stony Bob is the other one I play. I would put that.
That's not on there though.
It's not on there. It's on YSIV.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the best track on YSIV.
I'm not mad at you on that.
Yeah. So Just I like it in general. I don't think the beats miss. I think a lot of the rapping is fun, and he's not talking about the world. He's not giving you real shit, but it's just fun. It's trappy. It's whatever. So I enjoy it.
He gives
a lot.
you goddamn, I'm the man, do it because I can like 8 times. So
Yeah, and I know you're exhausted of that, but I'm not. So I like it.
this is a living nightmare. We just spent 5 minutes on Bobby Tarantino too.
Trevor's a hater.
Hey man,
I hate it so much.
Hey man, that's okay. You're allowed to be incorrect.
That's dope.
Big
I mean,
nightmare.
yeah, I mean the experiences matter. That's a pretty dope thing to freaking have with an
for
album. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I wish you had that experience with Under Pressure.
Wow.
I like Under
Wow.
Pressure a lot too.
Dang.
All right.
Okay.
So that was Cameron's number 6.
Yep.
Number 6.
Yes.
Number
Trevor's
6.
turn.
Sorry that
All right,
took so long,
number-
but I didn't see another opportunity to tell that story on the podcast, and I wanted to get that one out there. So
That's fine.
shout out to my
That's
boy
good.
Nagady. Love you, homie.
All right.
Dope, Naggity. What up, homie?
What's up, brother?
Hey man. All
All
right.
right, my number 6. I've talked about this album way too much. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Y'all already know how I feel about this. I will carry this album for the rest of my life, and it might shoot up higher as the days go by. It is Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will not talk about this album any more than we have.
Okay.
Absolutely, just banger certified.
That's I was wondering where it would end up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had
It
to.
was fun to listen
The
to
second
the
I
first
heard
time.
this, dude. The
Yeah.
second I heard this album, I knew it was in top 10 territory.
Yeah.
I didn't know where it was, but it had
Since
to.
that podcast, we've listened to it some. I've put it in my playlist, and I'm gonna be listening to it more.
Sweet.
Mhm.
Pretty hard. It's pretty hard to beat pop. Yeah. I don't know what to
Dang,
say.
you should listen to the J Balvin Dua Lipa collab. 'Cause that's
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Fusion nostalgia, great shit.
Nice.
Anyways,
Fusion
let's keep going.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
Alright, number 6. Let's keep it moving. My 6th album
Yeah.
is El Cantante by Mark Anthony.
Mark
Okay.
Anthony,
This is
okay.
Is that
this
the
album
singer?
came out.
Yeah.
Not the historical figure.
It-
yeah.
No.
Okay.
I meant, does the
Well,
album
this-
translate to the singer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ah.
But the
That's an
album
odd
is,
question.
Yeah. Sorry.
joint-
Is it the singer?
is it's a,
We're talking about
me.
albums. Is that the singer?
I mean, it makes sense in context.
I know.
Just the way.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But for people that don't understand
It's me.
Spanish, it's
That's
funny as
my
hell.
bad. Start over, Alex. I apologize.
No, it's keep
No,
going.
it's
It's fine.
fine.
so the
I mean,
movie,
don't start over, but
the movie. The album is like it came out with a movie. There's a movie called El Cantante, and the music is based. It's like a joint type of thing. And it's with Mark Anthony and J Lo when they were together.
Fire, fire.
Dang.
This album is a pure salsa album.
Ooh,
Oh
salsa.
my goodness. It is just like, I don't know. It's like the Bible for me for this type of music. Mark Anthony, I've listened to him since I was a baby. So
Yeah.
he's got a great voice. He really does. If I was to recommend some of you guys to listen to some songs, I would say to listen to El Cantante, which is like the title song. Aguanile is pretty good. El Dia de mi Suerte is pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, those three tracks are
So-
probably the best. It's pure vibes with like the brass. They got the
Ooh.
instruments going. They're just like, who was in the studio? You know?
Who was in the studio?
They were going him. The bass player is going crazy. This is all great.
Ooh. Nice.
so is
I listened to it in the car to confirm that this needs to be there, and it sure did.
there you go.
Yeah.
So you said it's salsa,
Nice.
so that means I can't get away with the white boy two step. There's got to be some hip movement involved.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't.
Gotta learn
Damn.
salsa. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Sorry.
Cannot Kevin
Sorry.
James it.
Well,
Kevin James.
I'll give
Kevin Smith.
I'll give it my all regardless.
That's
Yeah.
all that counts.
One white ass boy named to another.
Yeah. Who knows? Kevin Smith, Kevin James. All right.
All right.
My number
Give us your
6.
sixth.
Yes. Family. This is the oldest album on my list. God.
Oh.
It is the Eminem Show by Eminem.
There you go.
Wow.
I was waiting for
Okay.
it. I knew it had to come in somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be in
mean,
the '90s or something, but wow. Okay.
yeah, it doesn't go.
So
that
Illmatic is not on there.
correct. I almost put in honorable mentions, but I mean, yeah, we already know that's amazing. But Eminem show, obviously, Trevor and I have ranted about modern Eminem, and he has a lot of hits and misses. And I understand if you're not into his style nowadays, or if you never were, that kind of thing. Totally get it. But dang, brother, it's my favorite freaking Eminem album. I just feel like he. This is why I loved him. You know, this is why I hold him in high regard in that way. Like, production is perfect. I don't think he really misses. Like, the weakest tracks are like "Say Goodbye to Hollywood" to me, "Drips."
Nope. We're not gonna do this, but
I don't know what else. But yeah. But even those songs are good.
Business.
And freak, this is amazing. And then, but it's just you're going through the album. You're like, this is one freaking hit after another. You just have like, it just you pick a point on the album. There's just a nasty run of songs of like Haley's song "Till I Collapse," like freaking nutty. Those are like 2 top 5 Eminem songs for me.
Yep.
Iconic, "Say What You Say," underrated freaking banger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember showing that to my UPS supervisor. I think I told you the story, and he was like, "Yo, this shit is boring." And I was like,
what the frick?
I was like,
They're rapping
what?
like crazy. M has a top tier bar for me on there. Where I joke when I say I'm the best in the booth, but a lot of truth is said in jest, and that's like if he literally got back to that, he would be winning. Like almost simple bars, but they're just like real. Like he's freaking actually like stating that he's the best in a way. Like just great stuff. Great sense of humor. Not as vicious as a Marshall Mathers LP. Most people would probably rate that one higher. I get it, but this is sort of like it's just more palatable to me nowadays, and I like the production better. And that's about it. Haley's song is beautiful, also freaking underrated because I don't care if people love that song; it's still freaking underrated. Just made me
I don't
happy.
even know what the overall consensus of that is because I used to look up songs individually, just like go on YouTube comments and look. I've never done that for that song, so I have no idea how people feel about it.
Yeah, I've told this story, I think, to Trevor, a couple people. I'll just get it out there real quick. When I first heard that song, I was walking back from high school, and he's talking to Haley at the end of it, and he's like something about, Daddy will never leave you, I love you, and all this stuff. And then he goes, mwah. And in real life, I went, mwah. I blew a kiss back without even thinking about it. Just in my room by myself. I was like, this is so sweet, bro. And I was like a freaking, I was like a little high school boy, freaking probably a little edgy or whatever, but the happiness that filled me with that freaking song is just what he's talking about. Just
pimp walk all the way back to home.
That was pimp walking. Yeah, it's such a rare song for Eminem, but amazing album.
Great album.
Doesn't really miss. Amazing rapping, whatever, everything you need. Classic.
That's the high regard you guys hold him into. When you said I slandered you when you guys were talking about side B, and I was like, by the way, all this slander is coming from 2 of the biggest Eminem fans I know, and that was slander to you because of like how in high regard you hold this Eminem versus the new Eminem, as it were. So
yeah.
From now on,
makes a lot of sense.
How many episodes of the Unboxing Life podcast can we go without talking about Eminem?
We need to
0.
No, Jesus God.
We're gonna have a whole episode dedicated to him.
Every music books.
Yeah. Well, we'll get away from it at some point.
But yeah,
all right,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Number 5.
2 number 5s.
Number 5 on my list is yet another one that we have discussed on the podcast.
Ooh,
it was like my number 2 of 2020.
Okay, yeah.
It is RTJ4 by American hip hop duo Run the Jewels.
Yeah,
let's go.
LP and Killer Mike. This is definitely. I listened to this again. I sent you guys a video. We just got snowfall here where I am, and I sent a video to the chat of just 6 seconds of me in my backyard with snow on the ground, just walking in the snow, and said hardest track of 2020. And Dave was like, this man cannot tell a lie. So yeah, the Walking in the Snow, hardest track of 2020 is on there. One of the realest tracks, one of the most simply laid out, like, this is the system and this is why it's bullshit. And this is why, this is why this is your problem too. This is not just, black people's problem or whatever minority group. This is a problem for all of us to come together and solve. So spit some real shit.
You're still poor, they come for you.
Has some fucking outright bangers on there. It loops like very nicely, the front to the back, like we said on our, top 10 albums of 2020. We talked about this to death, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Walking in the Snow is on there. Yankee and Brave is dope. I also love. I found a new love for Out of Sight. Because I just love I just love the bouncy rhythm on there. It was like out of sight, out of mind, out of touch, out of time, and it just like the
just
beat,
keep going back and forth.
They just keep on going back and forth. The chemistry is like untouchable with them, especially on that song. I feel like so. Yeah, and they get they tell stories. They talk about real shit. There's just bangers. It's like we said earlier. It's one where you kind of have to go sit down and read the lyrics or open up the Genius to like really fully appreciate. Because I mean, they both just spit so fast and so like illegibly almost. That's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. So it's I think Killer Mike is like now probably one of my favorite voices in rap. I just love hearing his voice. I just think he sounds just so good. Like just not even what he's saying, just the like I guess what he says and the way he says it just flows like perfectly with his voice. So it's so insane to just listen to him just go over a track like that. Yeah. I mean it's
just he dominates the track. His presence is just crazy.
Yeah. I don't think there's like a skip on there. If you had to pick out a weak track, I guess I could, but I won't because why bother? So,
there you go.
Yeah, no, it's
Never Look Back.
Dope freaking album. No, I'd love that track as well. Yeah.
If you get bigger, then you'll never get bigger.
I fucking love that sequence as well. Yeah, that's I'll Never Look Back.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Love you for that.
There you go. Number 5, RTJ.
Nice.
Number 5, 2 number 5s. This is my number 5 pick, baby boys.
Okay.
This is the 2011 album by I think they're from California. This is Of Mice and Men. This is The Flood. It's holy shit, brother. It literally hits like a fucking truck. It is one of the better albums to come out of that whole craze of metalcore from 2008 to like 2013. It was super trendy to be a metalcore band, especially in this vein. Rise, they were on Rise Records, and it was like a whole meme, like Rise Core. Like every band was coming out trying to do this sound, and they just perfected it. It's just a complete and total masterpiece to me in terms of that kind of style of music. Man, this is one of the albums that I had to digest early on in my metalcore career, quote unquote, if you want to call it that. And I like back when you used to buy CDs, they would come with like a booklet, and each track was laid out, and it had the lyrics, and you could like read along with them or whatever you wanted to. And my ass, with my long ass hair and my bracelets and shit, my skinny jeans and all that, was sitting in the back of the bus reading along to the fucking music because I couldn't understand a goddamn word he was saying, and it was still scaring me, but I was just like, I have to get through this. And it absolutely paid off in dividends. I still spin this album like it's brand new. I used to play this album in the fucking living room, like torturing my mother whenever I would clean the house.
Jeez.
And I would open up the slider and I would just like start air guitaring on the broom that I had.
And you're
so fucking, it's stupid heavy.
Your house is very open concept, so that noise carries.
Yeah. Well, this is an older house.
Oh, this is a different house. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but same concept.
Right.
Yeah.
It's incredibly heavy. This was the last album with Shaylee, their clean vocalist, and he just puts on a fucking clinic for those who can't sing on here. It's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, it's just heavy as shit, fast as hell, and doesn't take up too much of your time. So yeah.
Damn.
The Flood by Mice and Men.
Nice. There you go.
Dope. My number 5 is a 2-for-1 because it is Collision Course, but I'm also throwing Meteora in there.
Also throwing what?
Yes, you are.
Wow.
He's throwing shit up there.
That album. Where is it? How do I do it?
I see it.
He's trying to point. He's big struggling. It's okay,
I
though.
see it.
Trevor's got a poster on his wall there.
Meteora came out in 2003. Crazy freaking Linkin Park project, man. Let me tell you. And then Collision Course came out in 2004. The meanest collab
literally
ever.
Literally ever.
It's 6 tracks, but like it's Jay-Z tracks with Linkin Park tracks. It's just insane. Holy crap!
You think that it wouldn't fit, but it does. It literally it's so hard, man. Oh my god.
Numb Encore has
Numb
been
Encore is
in
just-
my playlists for like since it came out. Basically, since I started listening to music, Numb Encore has been in there for sure.
Yep, that was the single on there.
My freaking Frappuccino is iconic.
Yeah.
Uh,
I ordered a Frappuccino. Where's my fucking Frappuccino? All right, let's do this.
so much fun to listen to.
My mom and I used to jam this shit in the car, and she had the
Yeah,
clean version.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Your
that
man
was
hole cracked the can open. Yeah.
Crack the can open.
good. Another blunder of me hearing lyrics wrong.
That's probably the first Jay-Z I ever heard, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
That's
okay.
funny.
Uh,
That's a cool.
Yeah.
It's one of his bigger songs. So
It is. It's one of the most wild, unbelievable collabs you wouldn't expect, and then it's just like, dang.
it was
and then
funny to
Mike
me.
even went on to. Mike went on to like have his own debut, like a rap album. I think at Fort Minor.
Yep.
Y'all
Oh, he's-
definitely know
Oh.
the song, remember
Yeah,
the
yeah.
name,
Remember
but that was
the
like
name.
I think it was executively produced by Jay-Z. So
Ah, wow.
they had a little run together. It was cool.
Definitely cool.
Dang.
I think one of my Faint is one that
Mm.
just the guitar is nasty on that.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's
I
incredibly
do-
fast paced too.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. So Faint is one that is one track in particular that has grown for me over time, but
Mm.
to my top. But it's just okay.
Oh.
We can move on. David. Number 5.
All right.
I love those picks. That was awesome.
That's dope. Yeah. Okay, guys. Number 5. You frick.
A hard follow up.
Cuss me out,
It's
David. Cuss me out.
prime.
There
Prime.
you go.
I'm in my permanent motherfreaking prime with this
Oh,
freaking
okay.
album.
This is it. Okay.
Yeah. Number 5. Honestly, a freaking disservice to music that is this low on my freaking.
Dang.
This album to me is perfect hip hop. I mean, literally like the peak in a way. It's like a love letter to hip hop to me. It's the produced by DJ Premier, the rapper is Royce da 5'9". Two of my favorites in their freaking fields.
Yeah.
DJ Premier is my favorite producer ever, and he's just like the most flat, like the most classic producer you can get, basically. And just it's his production is on another one on this freaking album, brother. The mixing, everything, all sampled from Adrian Young instrumentals. It gives it this cohesive freaking sound, but he still freaking just does wild stuff with it. Royce has, I think, like you were saying, it's like technically and just on a level of entertainment from listening to rap, it's like the best rap to me. Like, it's just technically flawless, and he has a sense of humor, and he'll talk about real stuff slightly interspersed in there.
Slightly, yeah.
But-
it's more of like a rap clinic for him to just go in there and just shred a mic. Like he's not really giving you thought provoking shit. He's just giving you one bar after another, and it's not like Eminem where it's cringe. Like he's giving you bars that you'll digest for months to go, and you'll still catch it. It's insane.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun as fuck.
Did you know that the number 5 is a prime number?
Oh, there you go. It lines up
David.
perfect. Yeah, but I would like to say Prime Deluxe Edition is the version that I feel as the true version with came out in
For sure.
2015. That's
For
what
sure.
Trevor and I bump it, or Cameron, I guess, too. But it adds. I love all
Definitely.
the deluxe tracks, the bonus tracks. It's a great feature list. Freaking everyone: Schoolboy Q, Killer Mike, freaking Mac Miller, Ad Soul, MF Doom, freaking Black Thought, Fonte. It's just ridiculous. Like
Man.
looking back at it, people I didn't even know back then. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, fucking Fonte is on there. Like that's fucking crazy to me now.
yeah. And from the moment this album starts, I was like, oh man, how high is this gonna be? And then I was taking a walk and I turned it on, and it's just like, as soon as I hear freaking, gather round, witness the memoirs of 5'9" being read as he sees it fit.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. All
It puts me in another universe when I hear
That's
this.
actually kind of
Yeah.
crazy that he just outright comes out and says, "Sit down and enjoy this because you will." Like,
yeah, I know. It's like, it's a technical rapping, but then he'll just, I don't know, just the way he says stuff too is just like sometimes he'll just say it so directly that it just dope as frick. Wishing, Courtesy, two of my favorite hip hop tracks. I don't know.
That Sound Good is underrated on there too.
Yeah, every song on there is fantastic. Really, I mean, I don't know. It just gives me a specific feeling every time. It's kind of just infallible to me. I don't know. Nutty as frick.
Absolutely
Yeah.
hard to agree, my guy. Good
Yeah.
pick.
There you go.
Agreed. Yeah, that probably should have been one of like at least my honorables. Now I think about how much I did enjoy that album, but I just haven't returned to it that much, which
Yeah.
is, you know, like you said, a disservice to music in and of itself.
It's a
But,
disservice that I had to put in my honorable mentions, but the way that
Yeah.
he crumbled.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving
Number
on
4.
to top 4. My last one was my number 2 of 2020. This one is my number 1 of 2020. You just heard it from Trevor a couple picks ago. It is Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely the best. Not that I've, you know, gone out of my way to listen to many pop albums front to back, but just any pop you hear on the radio, anything like that, like half of this album is better than any like track you can pick off. Freaking Levitating, Hallucinate, and Physical are like 3 of my favorite pop songs of all time now, because they're just so like they just flow so nice, and like I said, you're moving your head, you're doing the white boy 2-step, you're doing whatever you can, like you're just like it's not, you're not allowed to listen to this and not move your body in some way, shape, or form. You're at least like if you're in a straight jacket with your head taped back, you're at least tapping your foot. Like it was fucking. It's just so
This was your number
contagious
1
and so
of 2020.
yeah.
Yeah, this was mine and his.
Yeah, barely beat out
I didn't-
RTJ, but it's just
I didn't realize that.
it's just so freaking good. The way she
Dang.
used her, I mean, her voice is just gorgeous in and of itself. She can sing, but she can also do more of like a talking, singing kind of a thing that like runs along with the beat. But what I love so much about this album and her style is that her voice like melds with the beat so perfectly all the time, and the rhythm, to where I think it's on. I don't know if it's Levitating, but there's one where it just like it literally sounds like she's like running downstairs with her voice, and then she like goes back up and she does this whole like ebb and flow, and it's just it's too short. It feels like, you know, and we talked about the last track is weak, and you know, I liked it for what it was, but then, you know, you only have to listen to it the one time, but everything else on there is like you can't turn it off.
Infallible, as
yeah.
the great David would say.
Infallible. So that's Future
There you go.
Nostalgia. If
Perfect.
you haven't heard it, go spin it. It's definitely some of my favorite pop.
Dope.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Speaking of some of our favorite pop, this isn't
boy.
exactly pop, but it is pop. So,
Okay.
this is my favorite Eminem album of all time.
Oh, okay.
This is
Wow.
the one and only Recovery by
Wow.
Mr. Marshall Mathers.
Wow.
And it's
Okay.
funny that because I had never looked up reviews of this album before, and like normally I'll try to find like Pitchfork reviews just to see like, you know, where they're gauging it. This one got a 2.8 out of 10.
Out of
Out of
10,
baby.
Yes,
Oh,
like they
brother.
completely dookied on this album.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
is
A lot
that
of people
what's-
don't like it. Yeah.
Is Pitchfork all critics, or is it like, how's that work?
It's like a publication
it's-
where like someone
yeah,
writes
it's
an
like,
article.
It's
on
like the 2010s, The Source now. Like that's
So is it
it's
just
the
like-
it's the most respectable like hip hop reviewing site.
Is it
I
just
feel.
like one guy though, or is it like an average of
No, it's-
several scores?
Yeah, it's multiple people.
That's
It's
crazy.
it's like IGN for music, but not as corrupt.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Corrupt.
Um,
Recovery. It has something for everyone.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Every album does not get a 9. You know, like how IGN gives a fucking every game that comes out gets an 8 or above.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, this is Eminem when he had something to say, and just actually some material to tackle. And you know, he was just coming off of his overdose and almost dying, and how he felt like he just wasn't on top of his game anymore. Like he had writer's block for however long he had it, and after regurgitating everything on Relapse, he finally was able to come back to form, and it's just it. I don't know. Like this album is not perfect at all. There's a couple tracks on here that I'm just like, I'm kind of cool on, but it just kind of like how you were talking about with Prime. It just sends me into another place, and I just feel so happy when I hear it. Like the first like 6 tracks or so, everything from Cold Wind Blows through Going Through Changes. I could listen to that all day and never get tired.
Yeah,
I think it was. I think I remember you talking about this album, and you said like it would bring out the emotions in you too sometimes of the way he was rapping. I think you said Spaceship was one that meant a lot to you as well.
Yeah,
is that still the case, or Spacebound, yeah.
And that's the only track that I like where he fucking kills his significant other, by the way. Let's make that very clear.
Wow.
That's the one and only time that he does it good.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, that hook sends me chills like up my spine still to today.
Yeah,
to this day.
For real.
That's
This album gets a lot of knocks because he delivers it in a aggressive shouting flow, like he's yelling for like the majority of the album, but I don't know, it's like the M Shadows nasal thing. Once you get past it, it's so fun to rap along to. So
yeah, it's a very inspirational freaking comeback album. I do like it a lot. I do think it's underrated. If you've only heard like Love the Way You Lie
and Not Afraid,
I think those are the weakest tracks on there, so maybe hear the rest of the album and see what you think.
Yeah, that's consistent with Eminem, is like the poppy radio tracks are the ones that get played on the radio, and so they're the one that get popularized, but they're not nearly the best tracks on the album.
No, when you have an album full of like Talking to Myself and On Fire and Almost Famous and So Bad and Cinderella Man, I could name off the whole goddamn track.
It's freaking Almost Famous, I think, is like alphabetically the first track of music I own. So when I accidentally tell Siri to play music or whatever, when I'll be on Spotify and then it'll quit Spotify on the quick access list. And so I'll be on Bluetooth or whatever, like playing music either just for myself or like with other people in earshot. But like the worst, it's like when I'm actually supposed to be playing music for a group of people, and like I try to resume it or whatever, and it just plays Almost Famous, and it's like, I can almost taste it. And they're like, Cameron, what the fuck are you playing, bro? And then it immediately gets fine and good and is a good song. But like the intro to it, like isolated, is just like, what the fuck is happening?
Hilarious.
So yeah. Yeah, that's
true.
That's a funny little recovery bit there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Adore this album.
Definitely a bit of a source of debate with me and Trevor, it being his favorite, but
yeah,
it'll happen. We'll hash that out on the podcast at some point, I'm sure.
We'll have a whole
like it. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Dang.
Much like David with his number 5, it pains me to put this one here at number 4.
Wow.
But I do have some plans to make some cream, so it is enter.
Oh my god, low! Didn't expect it this low.
I didn't expect it either.
Plans to make cream.
Plans to make cream.
Okay.
Plans to make cream.
I was too like flabbergasted at his position of the album on here that I didn't even catch that. So I'll let it slide.
Great.
What do you mean?
I don't
plans to make some cream.
I don't know where this is going, but I'm
That's
ready to
the line, you fools.
Cream is money, my guys.
Cream is money.
Cream, cash rules everything.
Gotcha.
But this album, man, we talked about it, Albert. We did a review
that we
on
did.
it.
We have a whole damn episode on it.
Clan is my favorite rap group. They just all have a different variety of flavors.
Yeah.
This album is their debut album. We already know.
Yeah.
They have Wu-Tang Forever, which is great too. But I don't know. I just place this one that much more above. So many dope tracks that you got to keep going. The Mystery of Chess Boxing is my favorite. Of course, you got Cream. Of course, you got Bring the Ruckus. Clan in the front. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah.
And then, Protect Your Neck was the single before. And like, it's just crazy. Crazy bars.
I always love that skit where it's like the guy calls into the radio station. And he's like, yo, what you want to hear? Yo, I want to hear.
Again?
That's good.
Yep.
You can't really
Not
beat
much
the
more.
chemistry of 9 rappers just going completely ham and just
Facts.
destroying everything in their path lyrically. For
Absolutely.
a 93 album, it's insane.
Unmitigated classic. Yeah.
Good
Not
pick.
much more to be said that hasn't already been said about it. So
Yeah, we have an
Yeah,
episode.
go check out our
pays
episode
me to put it
27.
at number 4, but
I
I had-
expected like number 1 or 2. Yeah.
I thought it was the
Interesting.
top 3 for sure.
If you
Yeah,
if you like
interesting.
hot takes when it comes to music, yeah, definitely go listen to that album for some.
My
oh
lord.
boy, that's not
Yeah.
even a hot take. That's just a
It's a freezing cold
Head
take.
shake.
A freezing cold
Just a
take,
head
as
shake.
as people would say. That's
Oh
fine.
my
just like a you
Like
get
I
like a
said-
kitty pat on the head, like yeah, you did good.
Like I said, I'm happy to
Get a
be
gold
wrong
star.
about things that I could possibly enjoy.
You
So
get a gold star.
Tis fine. Well, there you go, guys. All right, my number 4. So fitting for so many freaking ways that it's number 4. It's also my favorite rap group of all time. So
There you
there you go.
Uh-huh.
What else needs to be freaking said?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
RTJ4. I feel like I've talked about this album more
RTJ.
than freaking anything on this podcast, but we did
That's
an
how I feel
episode
about
on
Dua
it.
Lipa.
Huh?
That's how I
Yeah.
feel about Dua Lipa. So.
Yeah. Did an episode on it. Did a freaking top 10 year on it. My most recent addition to the list freaking came out last year, and I put it above freaking Prime and Eminem show and all this stuff. So
Which
Yeah,
is
that's
funny
nuts.
because you weren't even feeling it that hotly when you first heard it.
that is a theme with like my top 4. I think like like the first listen wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
that makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
Yeah, nothing else really. I mean, it just feels like, my like the freaking like revolution, like fight the power freaking album for me. Very important album. Amazing lyrics. 2 of my favorites. Best chemistry. Amazing
Superb
production.
beats as well.
Amazing
Just, yeah,
production. Yeah.
superb beats.
Not much else to say. Walking in the
Yeah,
sun.
we've talked about it way too much.
Yeah. So,
sorry for bringing it up before you could.
that's fine. It's
all
it's
good.
there. People know the deal.
Top
Alright.
3.
For sure.
Yeah. Top
Oh,
3.
top 3.
All right,
Massive.
we are in it now.
Massive.
I may have discussed the circumstances of me listening to this album previously on the podcast, but I know we've talked about it multiple times, especially in me talking about listening to music in general. And my first experience with this album was when I was outside, in the pitch dark. If y'all haven't experienced a snowstorm, you don't know how quiet it gets when you're like eerily quiet it gets. So it was just me listening to this music and shoveling fuckloads of snow. And this album that Trevor and you already know what I'm gonna say is The Beautiful and the Damned by G-Eazy.
Dang.
I'm surprised this isn't number 1, honestly.
You surprised it's not number 1?
I'm surprised it's
That's
not.
fair and
But I was
fine. I
right
mean-
that it was top 3.
Yeah, definitely. So, this is what, 2017 from G-Eazy?
Yep, December 2017.
And so
Released
think
the
I
same
wanna
day
say-
as Revival.
I'm getting confused. Are really?
Yeah, same day
Wow.
as Revival.
Wow.
Stiff competition. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it would have been over Christmas break then that I was doing all this shoveling and listened to it properly for the first time. But before listening to it properly for the first time, I had heard several tracks of it through the mic via Trevor on our many night. What were we playing? Fortnite at that point, probably.
Probably it was
I don't know.
Fortnite.
Probably
It actually
Fortnite.
was
So
Fortnite.
yeah. So heard it through the mic several times. Heard Trevor vibing out, him saying, "Cameron, you got to listen to this. This is so good. This is so good. You got to listen to this album. Like, I love this album." And so I was like, "All right, I will." And so I went to listen to it on the plane, I think, but I didn't end up listening to it on the plane. And so my first proper listen was when I was shoveling snow. And that like kind of eerie environment, I think, was perfect for listening to this because it's basically split in two. It's like 10 party tracks and 10 like introspective, like kind of in his own head, like thinking about the world and kind of what I talked about with Big Sean on I Decided, where he goes in and out of that kind of thing, but to kind of a way higher degree.
It's kind of like the party is the first 10, and then the second 10
Yeah.
is the hangover.
And so the general, that's a good way of putting it. So the general concept of the album is that he like goes back and forth between this like I'm young and I'm stupid and I'm gonna have all this money and do the drugs and fuck the women and do all this shit and party all the time, and like that's the lifestyle I want to live. And then the reflection of that, the other side of that same coin, is that he realizes like it's basically killing him, and that like it's terrible for him to be living his life this way from several different angles. But like his perspective is like, I realize like this is killing me, like this is not a good way to go about living life in the broad perspective, but I love doing it so much that I'm just going to say fuck it and keep on doing it. And it's that like that dilemma of like being able to stop if you wanted to, but could you really stop if you wanted to, and then like enjoying that but not enjoying it because you realize how terrible it is. And so he has a lot of slow songs on the back half that are really nice.
This album didn't age well in terms of its love songs because he
That sucks.
dedicated it all to Halsey
Yeah.
when they were together.
Yeah, it fucking sucks
because
I remember
together.
I remember listening to it's the third track on there, I think, is Him and I. And I remember reading the Genius lyrics when they were still together, and it was like they were interviewed Jeezy and Halsey together, and it's both of them on that track. And and they're like, it was so great just to write this song. It came from such a place of love and like all this stuff. And so like it's like hard for me to listen to that song and like think about like, oh, this is, I'd love to like picture myself as whatever, and then have my ride or die on the other side, and like that's our relationship when like that relationship ended. So it's like kind of hard to romanticize that kind of lifestyle using that song when the romance ended. So that kind of sucks, but obviously just several bangers on there, several tracks that I love that stand up by themselves. I mean, No Limit is on there. That was the
No Limit, brother.
That was the freaking track of that winter, basically. That then got remixed and re-sent into the pipeline to be good again. I love Sober. I think Sober is one of the like most subtly hilarious songs that I've ever listened to, when it's like the idea is like, would we still be together? Like, is the only reason I'm sleeping with this girl because I got like beer goggles on, is because I'm drunk, like, but I still be with the end. So Trevor has a funny story about that if he wants to tell it, but I won't. Yeah, it's fine. But so, and then Easy is the closeout track that he sort of not only, well, I guess summarizes is a good way of putting it. It's like a synopsis of his like come up through the music career, of how he was like sleeping on friends' couches, like getting flown out to record labels, but then getting turned down, and crouches. Yeah, I slipped there.
Get bodied, son.
Sleeping on friends'
I will
couches.
say the Easy track, he doesn't do it very often, where he like sort of like lets you into his life. Like, obviously he does like talk about the party shit, like he's a rock star, but when he gets really introspective and actually gives you a window into his actual personal life and what he's been through, like through the years. There's like 4 verses on there dedicated to just like it's a biography basically.
Yeah.
It's a great track.
Yeah, it's dope. It's a really, really good closeout track. Like, you couldn't have ended that album better, in my opinion. Of like giving me all these songs that I love and enjoy, and then closing it out with the sort of summary of where all this came from. Because this is his 3rd album, right?
Yeah,
because When It's Dark Out and
his 3rd official album. Yeah, he had a couple mixtapes before that.
Yeah. So I hadn't. It was. I think I remember singing his from When It's Dark Out, the fucking track that Me, Myself, and I. That I remember singing that through the album, and Trevor was like, had already hopped on the G-Eazy train. This is like when he broke out was Me, Myself, and I. And I was singing that, and I was like, yeah, dude, that's on the radio all the time. And he's like, holy shit, it's on the radio all the time? Like, he was so excited that G-Eazy was getting plays because G was his fucking boy. And so he recommended me this album. I listened to it over and over again, and I love it to death. So there you go. Number 3.
I found it in high school from... Huh?
They played the shit out that song.
Oh, they did.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Once it broke out,
I found him in high school from a guy that I used to watch who sniped on Call of Duty, and he was live streaming one day. I actually found Logic through him too, but he was playing These Things Happen on there, and that's when I looked it up, and I was like, holy shit, this is great. It was 7 years ago now.
Dang.
So cool. All right. Number 3, baby,
Trevor,
for me.
This is nutty.
This is I can't believe I put this over like all these other albums. It just shows how much I enjoy it. It's It's Augment by a band called Era. It's ERRA.
I've never heard of it that at all.
Yeah,
Me neither.
Dude, it's one of those it's one of those albums like Camp, when I was saying that it never left my CD player. This was another one. It spent a good 2 months in my Dakota CD player when I was at Valencia, and it's progressive metalcore. It's fuck. It's just man. I wish y'all could hear it just to know what I'm talking about. But it's like it's literally an augment. Like they wanted this album to be a total improvement on their 2011 release, which I think is called Impulse, which I'm not too familiar with because I listened to this album like to death, and I just never wanted to go back to an inferior product, I guess. So I just kept with this one. And they're actually due it for an album in 2 months, which I'm very excited for. But their screamer on this album is no longer with them, but he has a lot of very deep and very like almost philosophical like lyrics about the world, and it's very poetic. Like if you get past the screaming and everything, it's very aggressive and it's when I say progressive metalcore, I mean that it doesn't follow the typical verse, chorus, verse formula. Lots of breakdowns, lots of incredible drumming, great guitar leads. The production is very loud. Like this album is hugely loud. Like it's, I have to turn it down sometimes because it's so incredibly crisp and just hits your eardrums like a motherfucker. And it's got some soaring, clean vocals. I can't remember the guy's name. I think his name is Jesse, but he's the heights that he reaches on this like nears, you know, pop star levels in terms of just his height of his melodies. It's insane the notes he can hit. But
wow,
yeah, it's a fantastic album. It's if you like any sort of heavy shit, just give it a spin.
I feel like I gotta check it out. Yeah, it sounds great. Man.
Yeah, it's if you like Veil of Maya, so I think you would absolutely dig this.
Yeah. Okay.
The one thing I'll say is I'm surprised that we're in your top 3 and you're naming an album I've never heard you talk about before.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know, it's metal, so.
But I get, I mean, that's the thing that checks out.
Really
If you name some like hip hop album that you said is your favorite of all time and you had like never mentioned it ever, that'd be like very very surprised.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't play like a lot. Obviously, I can't play it, but I don't want to subject you guys to music that you don't enjoy. So like, I just choose not to do it. But sometimes I'll throw the occasional heavy track in there. But
Of course.
Okay.
yeah, this is fantastic. I think the standout track on there is Hybrid Earth. If you want to give that a spin, it's incredibly heavy. It's got some crazy breakdowns, so just be ready for that.
Dope.
All right.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Aura by Ozuna.
I know it.
Ozuna makes a return.
What goes around comes around.
This is his second album. It came out in 2018.
Is it an augment?
Oh.
Is it
No.
it's not an improvement of his last one?
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. If I put it,
That's what I was saying. Like, that's what an augment.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Jesus.
This is my favorite album by him. Ozuna is the man. I love Ozuna.
Wow.
His voice is amazing. His music is so smooth.
Yeah.
He's still my favorite Spanish singer right now. Bad Bunny is making his way up there, but I'm still loyal to my man Ozuna.
Yeah.
You keep talking about this man highly, so I hope that we can go see him in concert one time.
I definitely want to see him at concert. This album, I missed the concert for it because I was a pleb. I didn't realize.
Because I was a pleb.
I was a pleb. I wasn't like looking at. I wasn't like actively looking for it, and then I like heard the album, and then like I'm like, oh snap, he was in Orlando last year. And I'm like,
literally the same shit happened to me with the baby. He went to like right before he popped the fuck off. He went to some 300 cap room downtown Orlando, and like 3 months later, I found the album. And I was like, fuck.
It hurts. It really does hurt. But man, this album is so crisp, so clean. There's a lot of good features on it. Well, I don't know what's happening.
You may or may not have been able to hear that depending on how your volume is. But.
They agree with you.
They agree.
They agree. It's so crisp. There's a lot of good features on it. Akon's on it. That Akon song is nice. There's a
Nice.
Cardi B feature on it. There's some some other like prominent Spanish, like Anuel is on it. My favorite track, Pasado y Presente, which I said was one of my favorite beats of all time
Oh,
in
yeah.
that video.
I was gonna say that ring a bell
That's
just
a
now.
dope freaking-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh
A
my
callback
god.
from almost 30 episodes ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
damn.
For
Holy shit.
real. Crazy.
God dang.
Time
Yeah.
flies.
Yep. But this album is dope.
Dope,
It's
man.
definitely top Ozuna, top tier. So go listen to it.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, I mean, I know Osuna's dope from when I listened to ENOC, so now.
There you go.
Dang,
There
I
you
have
go, David.
I have the
I know you will. I know you will, David, my man.
My man.
Oh, man.
All right, here's with your third.
A-U-R-A. That's how you spell it.
Here's with your third,
That's
baby.
big. All right. Top 3, gents.
Top 3, not
Well,
1 or 2.
I don't have much more to say about this. Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold is my number 3.
Wow.
There it is.
Yeah, how I made this list is just my favorite album, so there's a repeat on there. It happens. I think City of Evil is technically better crafted, you could say.
Yes.
For sure.
agree.
But Nightmare, I mean, Nightmare's maybe a better mix, but either way, Nightmare is still technically great, and the emotional impact that album had on me just is nutty. The lyrics in there are nutty. I think it's lyrically better than City of Evil to me, and that counts for a lot in my mind.
Which is tough because like they tackle so many themes on City of Evil. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, they'll go from a war song to a guy that like almost wants to commit suicide, and he like I think he was talking about finding his like someone's killer or something like that. I can't remember how Strength of the World goes, but
yeah,
they
and, like,
tackle some deep shit on there.
there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's like craziness, but Nightmare just is focused basically on death and
Yeah.
so and I don't know, a couple of my favorite rock songs ever. Buried Alive, Save Me. What else can you say? Freaking-
All you need to know. Like,
yeah, just completely hit
Man.
on the head how I was feeling
Fiction.
at the time. Fiction is amazing. Freaking changed my life in so many ways. My first like rock album I like listened to front to back, I think. So like
Damn.
I was
Wow,
just
that's-
listening.
what an
listening to-
incredible album to fucking start off on.
I know
That's-
you guys recommended it to me. You and
Yeah.
Jeremy, yeah. And I was just listening
didn't
to
know
hip hop, like only hip hop at the time. So this came in and changed my freaking world, helped
That's
me
awesome.
through freaking depression. It's amazing. We already talked about it.
We have a whole fucking episode. That was our first Music Box episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely adore the album. It means so much to me. Yeah,
Dope as fuck.
yeah,
Hard agree.
nice.
That's dope.
Yeah. All right,
Go ahead, Cam. Give us a 2.
number 2.
Top 2, not 1.
All right, top 2, not 1 for me has been said. Maybe I think
Oh boy.
predicted, as I am predictable in my music tastes because I talk about 3 albums. Is Eminem's 2013 release, the Marshall Mathers LP2?
Okay, so I know you're number 1 now.
Yeah, you should.
Got it.
Don't
You
say
definitely
it.
should.
I don't know it.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know
it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I absolutely know it.
So yeah, I mean, I think Evil Twin on there, that might be my favorite M track.
That
Of
is
all
mine.
time.
Just in
That's
general.
mine.
Yeah.
Top 5 then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a barrage of bars. It's just perfect
But it's
rhyming
fun.
in and out, but it's
fun.
so much fucking
'cause
fun.
You can't say a barrage of bars and like expect that to mean anything now, especially when he just does it all the
That's
time.
very
Like,
fair and true. Yeah,
This is fun barrage.
it's fun
of
as
bars.
fuck.
And so smart and clever, and he has the theme of like his evil twin coming in and him like
Dude.
being,
And he
Yeah,
has
it's
the
the-
shout out to the fucking Bad Meets Evil shit.
the reunion.
So good.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
peak of
Look at that
the
evil grin.
peak of the
Peak
Slim
rapping
Shady
skill.
alter ego performance that he had been and still is kind of, but not really anymore. Cultivating over the years of like violent Eminem is Slim Shady and this is my evil twin and all this stuff, and the line about, and that includes Biggie and Pac Horse. So who the fuck do you think that third and that fourth
Yep.
spot's for? Like putting himself
That
3
is
and
a
4 in the
crazy
rap
line.
game.
Crazy line.
One of my
Um,
favorite bars of all time.
Yeah,
Facts.
and
I'm
on
in
there.
agreement with you as well.
So yeah, I mean, you can pick several lines off there that are just by themselves hard as fuck, and they're all on the same track. I like. I'm trying to think what I skip. I mean, Stronger Than I Was, I guess, and then So Much Better, I think, are the weakest tracks on there.
So Much Better is one of the
So Much
weakest.
Better is awesome.
I like that song.
So much better. So much fun.
Below Monster.
Oh well,
that's a yikers.
when
That's
so
a
it's
yikers
weird
violence.
actually because when I think of this album, I like almost like bleach out Monster because I've heard it so many freaking times that I just don't care it to hear like on the radio and everything when it came out because that's exactly what we were freaking talking about with Recovery is like the songs that get put on the radio are far from the best songs on the album. So like when I think about this album, I don't even like think of Monster being on the album because it just feels like a single that was attached to the album.
No, it absolutely. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So
Monster is his best pop, like pop radio hit for me at least.
That's fair.
Like structured. This needs to go top 10 Billboard. Like what he was going for.
Mhm.
That's my favorite. Like I'm taking that over "Love the Way You Lie" all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I definitely like the song, but like I said, I just heard it so much that it's like sometimes if I play the album front to back, I'll let it play most of the time, but like I skip it a fair amount. We got the battle of if Headlights is a good song or not with me and David saying it definitely is and Trevor saying it's not at all.
I never said it's not at all.
I
said I adored the song until they started playing the shit on radio and I was like, fuck!
I never heard that on the radio, I guess. I don't know.
Brother.
But
Love that song.
But yeah, that's a really nice,
It's on the radio.
I keep on saying introspective, but you know, emotional, like makes you think kind of a song. Definitely one if you know the lyrics not to listen to on a plane, like I was joking about when we talked about this before.
Avoid that.
But Survival is incredibly hype.
Yeah, I mean Survival. I actually freaking very quick story. This girl I was seeing ish in like late middle school, early high school, so this would have been sophomore year now. But I still didn't have my driver's license, so we still had to have my parents or their parents like drive us places. And so they were like a huge music family. And so they were like, "Oh, Cameron, you know, what do you listen to? What are you listening to right now?" And I only had like 3 tracks off the Martian Mathers LP2. Like the album hadn't been fully released, but they had released the tracks, or like I only bought those tracks, but not the full album yet. I don't know how it went, but I was like "Oh, this is what comes to mind. I don't remember these being that bad. You know, I'll just play these." But I was like, "There's a lot of swear words on there, and this is like this girl's parents who I'm like still trying to impress, who don't know a lot about me." And I think I was like, I'm looking for, I even said to them, I was like, I'm looking for like, you know, a censored version, but I can't find it. And they were like, "Oh, you know, that's fine. You know, my girl doesn't, it was her and her sister in the backseat. We'd all gone somewhere together. So the dad was like, "My girls don't mind a little bit of swear words or whatever." And I played he doesn't sound like that, but whatever. I forget what fucking one, but it's like fucking back, fucking he swears, he cusses like 18 times in the first like 5 bars, and I was
You
just
didn't
like,
help us at all.
God damn it, it's
fucking like that's every song on there.
it's Survival, maybe, I don't remember.
Maybe
it's like cut the fucking act like you're happy, I'm fucking back again with whatever.
Oh, that's Survival.
That's Survival. Yeah. I'm blanking on one of the most quotable songs.
I'm not
my number
familiar,
2, but
man. I need to get familiar with it.
With LP2,
it's a really good album.
It's a fun ride.
I love Legacy just as a like hindsight retrospect, him reflecting on his own life and thinking about like it's him like coming into his own as like going from a weird kid that like doesn't get it at all, but he has this really special talent, and he's like, "Oh, if I focus on this talent, I can be someone great," and he does it, and it's a really good storytelling track, in my opinion, and I love the hook on there. And then the last one that I'll mention is that Love Game with Kendrick is just so fucking funny. I love that song to death because I think it's fucking hilarious. Where you could suck a softball through a straw. It's like
that's the first time I think he ever had that line, and that's the only time that it works because he just does it several times.
Doing it.
To follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, full recommendation for us.
Yeah, it was the first Eminem album I heard in full. I think first one I bought and everything.
Yeah, same for me as well. Actually, it was I had only heard singles from Eminem before that, or like on Pandora radio. I would put on Eminem radio and get some old ass like D12, like My Band and stuff like that. So I had heard that from him, but not actually like a full project. And so this was the first real full project I got from him, and I was loved it, still do. So.
Good stuff. Nice.
I'm going to cheat on this next one. I
Oh,
can't
boy.
do it. I can't do it, man. I'm sorry.
What the heck?
We've talked. Actually, David has mentioned both of these albums.
I was gonna say,
I
you're
cannot for the
putting two at
life of
number
me.
Who
I cannot.
Oh,
I can't do it, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
I
tried.
think I might do the same.
Yeah, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. These two albums are so instrumental to me, and it's a absolute pun intended. Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold and City of Evil by Avenged Sevenfold are my two picks for number 2.
Wow.
Tied at number 2. That's crazy.
I literally cannot. I can't decide which one I like more because they're so incredibly different, and that's the problem with that band, is that every album is different, like, and it excels in being different. Like, I can't. Like, City of Evil, I think, was the first one that I heard, and it just started me on that path of liking the more unorthodox progressive rock and all that kind of elements. Like, that album is probably the reason why I like metalcore. That's probably the reason why I like, instrumental prog and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's the cornerstone album for me. And then you got Nightmare. We don't got to say nothing. I sleep like it's on my wall. Like,
Yeah.
Nightmare's fantastic. So can't
So
choose.
you went for a 2-for-1?
Which one?
1.
You went for a 2-for-1?
Yeah, I went for a 2 for 1.
Crazy. Man, I get it.
I mean, you gave me the ability to do it because you did that. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna cheat.
You're right.
I had City of Evil on my list for a while, and then I switched it to Nightmare, and then I'm just like reading through it. I'm just like, I can't do it.
It's hard to choose.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's very hard to choose.
Dope.
Number 2, wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. My number 1 is
Crazy.
coming up, brother.
That is crazy. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right, Alex, give us your
My
top
number
2.
2. I'm gonna give you this number 2, and I'm sure you can know my number 1 right off the bat. But my number 2 is gonna be Graduation.
Oh.
Fuck yes, man.
There's just so many. Oh man.
Fuck yes, man.
Kanye is.
Dude,
Kanye comes hard as a producer, and then
Brother.
this freaking Graduation, man.
this album is so
something
fun.
on another level.
Yeah.
There's samples on here that I don't even know is a sample until I see it. Like freaking Good Life is a freaking Michael Jackson sample.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that for the longest time. Just
Graduation is
Stronger. Everybody and their mother's heard Stronger.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Everybody
tell
and
me
their
nothing.
grandmother.
And
Oh
for
my Lord.
absolutely good reason, because this album is up
dude.
here.
I still sing the melody with fucking Rocio of Good Morning. Good morning. She knows the track and she knows how it goes. I don't think she I finally played it for her, but like
Bro,
Yeah,
so many hits.
Good morning is my alarm. Whenever my alarm goes
Yeah.
off, I have it good morning. I just hear boom, boom, boom. Oh,
Great way to
yeah, I
start the
love
day.
that intro, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Shit.
yeah.
Barry Bonds is my favorite on there, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Crazy.
I like Barry
Dropping
Bonds a lot.
hits.
Great song.
I don't know.
Alex,
what my
do you like
favorite
Barry
is, man. I like Barry Bonds. It's not my favorite.
Okay, I don't. It doesn't have to be your.
say Drunken Hot Girls is definitely the worst. I would definitely if you cut that shit, if you cut it off,
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
make the album so much more better. But
That's facts.
I like
Can't
Homecoming.
disagree.
I do like Homecoming. I
Homecoming.
don't know if it's top
Okay.
either, but
I love because it took me a while to
Black
realize
and
he was
white.
talking about fucking like, and obviously he says it at the very end. You know, if you don't know by now, I'm talking about Shot Town.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it never hit me for a while. But it's such a
Yeah.
it's such a cool song.
Yeah.
Flashing Lights is so
Flashing lights.
Yeah.
The atmosphere of that song.
that
Yeah.
atmosphere. Honestly,
That bass is fucking filthy, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Well.
as I said earlier, with College Dropout, Kanye was one that it took me a while to get around to, and so I decided I was going to go in order, listening to his discography, and Graduation being the third album, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I got to Graduation, I was like, wow, I know half the tracks on here already. It's like,
Yeah.
like that's how big that was. Was
Full
like
of hits.
it was like I could already sing along to like half the album, never having listened to the album on purpose. So
Apparently, yeah, he just wanted to make songs that you could like freaking sing at a stadium and just move a crowd to. Yeah, which he even says on the last track, he's like, stadium status or something like.
yeah,
It's just
Oh, I'm
absolute.
Big Brother.
Yeah. Just
And
hit
you
after
know-
hit, rap record.
Kanye is quite literally crazy, but he's a genius, and geniuses are crazy.
He's a
So
genius. Say
Yeah.
that always.
Yeah.
Even if he puts out mid, it's at the end of the day, he's got one of the craziest discogs of all time.
Yeah, probably most classics in hip hop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Without
Insane.
question.
Probably. I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Good
Number
shit.
two.
I like
Great.
that pick. I like that pick.
I do think I know your number one, but we'll see.
I don't know it. I
I
can't remember
definitely
it.
don't.
I don't know.
So-
You're twos. You're twos. You're two guys.
Twos.
Anyway,
Two guys.
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 Okay.
Number 2.
Time for my number 2. Everybody. It's been mentioned before.
Wait, it's Everybody by Logic? No, man, don't do that.
I mean, that's a
How dare
pretty
you.
good album.
How dare
No,
you?
it's not.
It's aight. It's aight.
Okay.
I don't dislike it.
No.
Go ahead.
Number 2 is a freaking. I mean, it's so hard to pick between my top few albums, but god dang, I love this album so much. To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, so then I know
Wait,
you're.
You don't know. You don't know anything. It'd be something you never heard of.
Goddamn.
No, I don't know. But yeah, just an obvious masterpiece. I say that, but then on my first few listens, I wasn't that into it, and it took a long time. Like it just every time I listened to it, it just got better and better. The depth, the layer. It's probably the most complex, like thematic and lyrical album, like lyrically, like I've ever heard. Crazy production, just bringing in jazz and funk and soul and even like old rock and roll a little bit.
For this album to sell like 350,000 copies in its first week is just it's a testament to its like absolute quality. It's
just a pure work of art. The idea of him progressing from such a low place of like self-hatred and then just learning more about the world and being more conscious and about himself and then finally getting to self-love is like one of my favorite freaking ideas I've ever heard. It's just, I mean, I think this probably, I have to imagine it changed if art can change anything in society or in people, like I have to imagine it changed some things at least. The Blacker the Berry is one of the best hip hop songs ever written.
Facts.
I mean,
no printer.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I don't know. Not much more to. I mean, we talked about it a ton.
We
but
have a whole hour and a half dedicated to it. So
freaking work of art.
Number 4.
Yeah, that was an episode where we planned on doing 2 things, and then we talked about freaking TPAB for so long that we were just like, all right, we just have to cut this now. It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah,
so
it is.
We just gush about that album for sure.
That's why I own this hat. Freaking
I.
Yeah, I love myself. Yeah, unbelievable work of art.
That's one of my favorite like happy rap tracks for sure.
Yeah,
just
great.
get you bopping, and weaving.
You ain't gotta say much. We already know. We already know, baby.
Yeah,
we know the vibes.
You know the vibes.
So do you know what time it is? It's
time
for our number 1.
about
Number
our
one.
favorite albums of all time. This is ridiculous.
The time.
Oh my god.
To reveal our number 1 favorite of all time, and I have the privilege of going first.
Let's hear it,
this
brother.
wait? So okay, so I see what's no, I know, but it's I know both of y'all.
I don't know anything. I think I know Alex's, and that's it. And
That's
mine.
okay.
and mine. I hope you know yours.
Number 1 for your boy is Good Kid, Mad City
Fucking told you,
by
man.
Kendrick Lamar.
Fucking knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. Obvious masterpiece is what Kendrick gave us with this album for sure. It's really hard to talk about just how incredible it truly is. I really want to do a full podcast episode on this album for sure. I think Mad City is my favorite on there. I think David and I agree on that. I'm not sure.
We'll see. Mad City.
We'll see.
A little bit. Not all of it.
Amazing song.
Yeah, I absolutely love Mad City. But yeah, it's like the best combination of standalone bangers and party tracks that you can pull out, like Swimming Pools. You can play Poetic Justice at the party. You can play Money Trees, whatever. Which you can just listen to. You can also just like listen to casually. You don't have to like think about it that hard. But but also just like complex, layered, and pensive tracks that like all come together to tell the same incredible story. And all the, like I said earlier with the other Kendrick project that I had on here, which is TPAB, which David just talked about. is that the tie-ins of the front to back of the storytelling of you get a lot of through the skits with the voicemails with his parents, which are funny in and of themselves, which is like, you got them damn dominoes, is like, this man high as hell, listen to him, is like, girl, I want your body,
your body.
Yeah, you got a big old fat ass. It's like, he just
Damn
he high as
domino.
hell, he feeling himself, he ain't tripping off the dominoes
Yeah.
anymore. Someone say dominoes. And so
The
that's like,
actors-
there's just like
whoever
little
they
bits,
are, it's
they're
so funny.
brilliant. Yeah, there's just little bits of levity like that throughout like all this like super pensive, super intense, super, and it just brings you into, we talked about this, I brought this point up briefly where I was like, how much you can value being able to relate to music and like being able to relate to the person's story and like how important that is to like rating music highly or whatever. And so, like, obviously I have zero concept of what it is like to grow up in like gangland Compton and like where if someone asks you where you're from and you give them the wrong answer, they're going to cap you then and there like that. But I have no concept of what that's like, but Kendrick like teleports you into that world and makes you feel like this is where you can, this is what life is like. This is reality for me. And I'm going to show you from my perspective how that is. And so all the skits, all the songs, all the, like we were saying earlier, the transitions between songs of like, get your freestyles ready and like all that stuff. And then obviously the songs themselves are just fantastic by themselves, but they flow so perfectly and they all tell the same story.
That's the beauty of the album. They're all standalone tracks for the most part, but they come together for this cohesive masterpiece. It's just never been done in my opinion.
Yeah. This is probably gotta be my most listened to album. Got me through many a day of my work study where I would go in for like 2.5-3 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and I would literally like maybe 3 out of 5 days of the week put this on and listen to this, and before I knew it, like the hour 10 or however long this album was gone. With the bonus tracks. I like the bonus tracks on here as well for the deluxe edition, whatever it's called. So yeah, can't say enough good things about the album. I fucking love it to death. There's several tracks on there that could be my favorite track on there. It's really hard to decide.
Art of Peer Pressure is mine.
Yeah,
my personal favorite.
Interesting.
That is Good Kid, Mad City, Made Me an Angel on Angel Dust. That is yet another one where you gotta like. There's subtle shit that like even if you listen a million times, you really wouldn't pick up on it unless you go and listen to his explanation.
He's got that prepubescent delivery on "Fresh out of school because I was a high school grad." Like, he's rapping in different perspectives, and he's got like 7 different voices, and it's all.
And I just love Kendrick's voice for how unique it is and how it works with his style so well in a way that's basically. It's really hard to nail down how perfect it is somehow. So yeah.
Did we say, have you heard this album, Alex? Or you just heard like some of it, like a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some of it. Some of it, not entirety.
Okay, that would be an interesting one. Yeah.
Another full recommendation.
The last thing I'll say is that it was said earlier that this was basically my introduction to real hip hop as well. Like this was like probably the second rap album I'd listened to in earnest, like after having purchased and listened to the Marshall Mathers LP too. And I was in high school, and then I got this job, so that was probably like 4 years later that I was like actually starting to buckle down and listen to actual albums as opposed to just singles or just Spotify curated playlists and stuff. So wow. My first real introduction to real rap, to real hip hop, to a motherfucker that has something to say, and that's gonna take you on a journey. I mean, it's as close to like a movie as an album can come for me. Like it's even written on
the album. It's written like a short film by Kendrick Lamar on the standard edition.
Dude, maybe both. It plays like it's the soundtrack to a movie almost that has
It's got that tape that rolls at the very end, right before Compton too.
Yeah. The film reel, yeah. So it's an experience more than it is just an album. So I love it.
It's an audio journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hard agree.
Great pick.
Good kid.
All right.
Mad City.
That's awesome. Good kid, Mad City.
I think I'm gonna throw it back for my oldest album. This is my oldest album on.
Trevor's favorite album.
Trevor, this is my favorite. You know the funny part
is
about this when I was
crazy.
curating this list is that
Yeah.
I didn't realize that this was my favorite album until I like sat down and I was just like,
Mhm.
holy shit, this like means the literal world to me.
Wow.
Alex already said it. It's Meteora by Linkin Park.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
This band is my livelihood. It was the lifeblood of
Okay.
my angsty 6-year-old,
Mhm.
you know, however old I was when this album came out. This was 2003. They came out with the only diamond rock album to come from the millennia, which was Hybrid Theory, which is incredible. It sold like 32 million copies.
Holy crap.
Crazy.
So for me at least, for them to improve upon that sound and further go into it and just absolutely perfect it. It was brother. It's like 37 minutes. It's super quick. Like it doesn't waste any of your time. Every track on there sounds like it could be a top 10 radio single, but it's also heavy as shit for what it is. Like there's a guitar lick on the chorus of Lying From You. And when I first heard it, like I had it on my Walkman phone, like shit, like 12 years ago or whatever. And I never heard it the way I did until I picked up on that little vocal riff, and it just goes like, but it's like it's so catchy to me for some reason, and it still gives me chills to think about it. But
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had that poster that I keep showing you guys. I've had this poster since like 2004. My grandmother got me it.
Wow.
She had it, and she was like, you know, because she knew how much of a fan I was, and I'm sitting here like 7 years old, and she's like, "You want it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want it." I adored them.
Wow.
Rest in peace, Chester Bennington.
I was
By the
gonna
way,
say, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
took his life about 3.5 years ago. And if you're struggling, just please reach out to someone. Like at the end of the day, like there's a lot of people you can talk to, even if you feel alone.
Absolutely.
Not to get super deep, but
No, for sure.
we talk about depression a lot here, so
There's a lot of people going through something similar to what you're going through too.
exactly. It's the
fully
human experience. We're not alone.
Yeah.
Even when you feel alone, you're not alone. So
Yeah. If you
that's what that album means to me.
if you look for only like very short amount of time, if you look for it, you can find any number of it gets better stories. You know, like there are a lot of people who are living proof that suicide is never the answer. So
No,
Yeah.
suicide just passes the pain that you feel to those around you.
Yep.
Like it never truly goes away. It's not a deletion button. It doesn't make anything better. Suicide is never the option.
It's a truly
it should
selfish
never
act,
be
yeah.
the option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're like in a prisoner of war situation or something like that. Something
That's-
like where you're inescapable. Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's insane
there-
circumstances that
Yeah,
you know,
but like
no one listening
in
to our
terms of
podcast
your
is gonna have to
everyday
worry
living.
about.
Yeah, in terms of
Yeah.
your hopefully. In terms of your everyday living, you always have someone to turn to, even if you don't feel like you do.
It can always
Yeah.
get better for sure.
it does get better. Yeah.
Rest in peace,
for
Chester.
sure. Yeah. Wow.
Shout out Linkin Park.
Dang. Awesome.
Anyway,
All right, baby, give us your
Yeah.
number one.
moving on.
I want to hear it.
Like,
I'm gonna tell you about my number one.
I know.
I'm gonna tell
I
you
want to
about
hear
it.
it.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I was sitting making this list. And I'm like, I had this album. Number one, I'm contemplating where do I place this.
Oh, I think I know it.
And then I
think
look
know
at the tracks, man. And then I look at the tracks. I'm like, is this number one? I look at the tracks. I listen to the tracks. This
I
is
listen to
definitely
the
number
tracks.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is Blueprint.
There it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We literally
That checks out.
Holy.
fucking yes.
is the
Like it
definition.
clicked for me like halfway in when you were starting to talk about it.
Yeah. Let's go.
In case you don't know, I consider Jay-Z as my favorite rapper of all time.
Not
He's
a hot
the
take at
man.
all.
Yeah.
He's arguably, well, not arguably, he is the most successful. He's the first billionaire in hip hop,
Mm.
which is a huge milestone.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing it. He's got such a discography. The Blueprint.
Crazy discography.
Ooh,
Singles, features, you name it. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first time I heard
Renegade,
him was
man.
on a track with Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an
Yeah.
expansive discography
His-
right there.
His reach is incredible. He was just a complete figurehead. And it's funny because he didn't even like sell a whole lot of albums like when he was popping. Like Blueprint only sold like 400K. Like he wasn't, selling shit out like 50 Cent was, but he's still widely regarded as the biggest rapper of all time.
And the consistency.
Yeah.
The brand, the empire.
I feel like my favorite track off this album changes every time, but I'm feeling Heart of the City.
Ooh,
Okay.
Great one. Yeah.
It's
Great
always
one.
You Don't Know for me.
That is probably my pick.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah.
What you do?
I still remember David's fucking reaction to it when we were driving to the Kendrick show, and he's just like, "Holy shit!" Like, shit is
the
crazy.
ride out and everything. Oh my god, one of the best produced freaking hip hop albums ever.
I don't even think that's a question. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got like 4 budding stars on there. It's got Ye, Just Blaze, fucking Bink. There's one more. Right?
Yeah,
man.
that was wild to me listening to it.
Timbaland
Oh yeah.
Freaking
and M produced it too. Like,
And produced
bruh.
Renegade. Yeah. Nutty.
Brother.
Blueprint is my number one. We did a review on it, so you can listen to it. Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt, if you know.
combo
Did that
episode.
review?
On our
Yeah.
Mob Psycho episode, Mobbing with Hove.
Yeah, that was one of the
Combo.
last, I think, before we switched to the new formula.
We're getting there. Yeah.
Banger of an
And with
album.
that-
Good fucking pick.
I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna pass it. Pass it to David.
Oh,
Hey.
there you go. There you go.
You gotta pass it up, yeah.
I think
Thank
you
you.
gotta go up. Yeah,
There you go, there
it's
you go.
up on the on my recording.
David's
so
just
there-
like,
I'm trying to
where's
do
it coming
something.
from?
I don't know. Wow,
All right.
great freaking pick.
the
That's
final
dope as
number
frick.
one of
I
the
know it, I know it, I
podcast,
know it, I know it, I know it,
boys.
Trevor knows it, but he shouldn't say it because I'll
No,
say it.
absolutely not. We're not getting Brotherhood again.
It's fine either way. But
Ask for forgiveness. We'll see if I receive it at any point.
hilarious.
I
Anyways.
still gotta continue my penance.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. Well, my favorite album of all time is "Good Kid, Mad City" by Kendrick
Let's
Lamar.
fucking go, baby.
Alex.
Stun on y'all ass.
Oh my god.
that's
He
a-
needs a blunt and Doritos and
That's
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Man, I mean,
Good lord.
Yeah. out of all the freaking albums, freaking Cameron and I have the same favorite album. That's pretty
Yep.
freaking dope. That's
It's
just
just that good.
it's like when yeah, that's I don't know. It's just
It
that
pains
good.
me to put it at number 7, but
Oh yeah, I know. I was like the amount Trevor and I would play this like on the mic, and Trevor would just be like singing along
Brother.
to it. Like,
brother, we spent many a day talking about this album and just like texting back and forth, like, "Yo, which one do you like better? You like T-Bab or this one better?" Like, I had to ask him so many times because it just flipped for us so many times. We were just like feeling this one, and we were feeling that one,
the fact that my top 2 albums of all time are by the same person is like I'm such a freaking stan of Kendrick. But 'tis fine
He's
because
just that freaking good.
this album is immaculate. It changed the way I listen to music. I got this. I think this was the first album I bought after I graduated high school, which it's not really like
that checks out.
like it was a cool time in my life, a special time, but it's not really like subjective based on that time. It's literally just the amount, just the album stands alone. Like you guys were saying, every track is amazing and stands on its own, but it forms a bigger picture.
Yep.
That's like just that's why I put it above T-Pab, is just the track thing. Like every track is just amazing, and then
Yeah,
that's
that's the one knock with T-Bab is that some of the tracks don't work by itself,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
totally fine because that's not what he was going for anyway.
Yeah. Amazing production. Freaking my favorite song of all time happens to be on this album. If you had a gun to my head and I had to pick
Mad
my
City.
no, but that's a great song. My favorite song of all time is "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst." Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually knew that. I couldn't believe you. I can't believe you didn't guess that. But I guess it would have been another Brotherhood moment. But
I forgot that was on there.
yeah,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
yeah. No, I've heard you talk about this song and how much you love it, and I completely agree. I mean, it's just go ahead, pop off.
I mean, I don't even want to spoil any of the lines of the song, but I think
True.
like the first half of that song is like the best written, like most poetic, just impactful rapping I've ever heard. And then the themes of just life and death and like empathy and freaking telling people stories and what you leave behind. It's like it's where the album comes to a head in terms of the story, and it's freaking a 12-minute masterpiece. But the
What
whole album,
comes after that track?
It's insane.
real.
Yeah,
Which is
I
like-
forgot about Real.
Which is perfect. Yeah.
Really, really real.
Yeah, it just doesn't miss. Like, Real's the perfect thing to follow that, and then Compton. I mean, I've talked with Cher about how Compton's my least favorite track. But I don't know.
Compton is
listening,
so incredibly triumphant, man.
listening this time, I liked it even more than I have. So
Good.
it is great.
I like Compton a lot.
Maybe it was just your ears. I don't know. We all have. We all
Ain't
have
no
that.
city quite like mine.
That hook is crazy, brother.
Yeah, it completely. It got me. It changed the way I listen to music. So it was like I listened to this and I didn't like it that much at first. I was like, "What's so special about it?" But I had to get my ears off of listening to just punchlines and rap and like,
Yeah.
okay, what's the clever thing here? And just like, just get into the art of rapping and telling a story and whatever else. And I don't know. It's just everything to me. By the time I get to the end of the album, it's like, it feels just like, I don't know, one of the most fundamental, like, life-changing experiences in my life, just listening to this album. I think it just has a lot of lessons about morality and like Cameron said, one of the best things about it is that I cannot relate, but like now I feel like I can, to the degree of just hearing it through art and just
Yep.
like, yeah, I don't know. It's
That's why I say it's like a movie. Like it brings you from wherever you are to exactly where he wants you to be, in that perspective and experiencing these things like as they go.
Yeah, the way it
It's-
comes in with
It's one of those albums that's like indisputably a classic, like from the last decade. There's not that many rap classic albums that came out in the last decade. I mean, you could make a case for like 2014 Forest Hills Drive. You can make a case for like Take Care and all that, but this is like the indisputable option.
Pretty much, yeah. It's up there with that, yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It starts out with this thing where you don't know what's going on, and they like bring back that sound. I mean, I could talk about that part of it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many things to talk about with it, but it just forms my favorite music experience, and I love it so
A
much.
complete audible journey.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, one that you just appreciate it more and more the more you listen to it. You just catch more things. You understand what he's doing. You catch the patterns more as well. Because you can't, human brain doesn't catch a pattern on the first try usually. It takes repetition, so it's definitely just a masterpiece in multiple respects. And like you said it changed the way you listen to music. It definitely informed the way that I listen to music. Like basically, especially hip hop and rap, like coached me into like the kind of style and flow and if people aren't saying fucking anything, but they're like barely even rhyming, that I'm like pushing it to the side because it's like I want substance. I need substance.
Yeah.
Like this is not comparing to what I love, like what I put at the top. So it's hard to enjoy. So yeah, it's definitely a formational experience in my music career for sure. Music listening career, I should say.
No doubt, man.
Dope.
That's about it. Yeah.
And with that last one, I think that wraps up our favorite albums
Yeah,
of
it
all
does.
time episode at a cool over 2.5 hours.
Okay. If you have made it here, we freaking love and appreciate you, and freaking you are a trooper for sure. This is a long one, but
Shout out to Caitlin.
yeah, shout out.
She'll be the
Caitlin.
only one that gets the floor.
Big
Her and
shout.
Rocio.
Naggity very well may. He's been listening to quite a few back to front, so I love my man for that.
Yeah.
Shout out Naggity.
So yeah.
Thank you for
I
the
can
love,
see
my
the
man.
comments though, because the people are going to be pissed that "Nature" by Dave Vision was not mentioned by a single one.
Nature.
Or
That's
Most
my
Wanted.
fucking fucking third honorable mention is Most Wanted. Yeah. Absolutely.
There you
Most Wanted is insane.
Honestly, no cap. I mean, that was what my two friends that I've been hanging out with on the weekends in our little bubble both listened to both the album and the episode about the album, and they loved both. And I sent you guys Naggity's review of it, but my other friend also listened and shouted us and said enjoyed it a lot. So we're getting feedback here,
Sweet.
boys, and you're getting feedback from different perspectives.
Different walks of life.
Everyone loves it. Most Wanted is
Shout out.
hot. Stream it.
It's critically acclaimed.
There you go.
Featuring the single Shigeo. the hit single.
Yeah, appreciate
You
all
it.
that
loved it the
bullshit
first
they used to
time.
do on the
You'll love
CD.
it. You'll love it even more the second. Waterfall remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
Oh,
That
that
is
shit to death.
Featuring Jay-Z.
Imagine.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Imagine that would be the end
How would
of
Jay-Z
that would be the end of Alex.
think
Alex would
Alex could-
just
yeah, I
Alex
think
would
Alex
just
could die
die of
happy right there.
happiness instantly if Jay featured on a track he produced.
It just transcend to another freaking level of existence.
Yeah.
Jay-Z featuring Osuna.
Just reach.
I
Oh
would
my
die.
goodness.
On
Jesus
our
Christ.
track.
Yeah, you
On
just
an
reach
almost-
Nirvana.
Oh,
You would be the godhead of a new religion if you got that.
Yeah, that
So
would be dope.
we'll
you
see.
would pop with happiness.
I look forward.
I
I
would
look
yeah.
forward to.
literally stop breathing.
I look forward to joining the Church of Amo. That's what I'll say.
There you go. But let us know some of your favorite albums. We love to talk
Yes,
about what we
please
love.
make this very interactive for us. Like
We love it. We're recommendations, talking about it. These freaking pieces of art changed our lives. So
we don't talk for 3 hours just to get our piece out. We want to hear you guys as well.
Absolutely.
yeah, what music does, man. So thank you so much. Been the realest of the real. Frick yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like you said, man, music
Goodness.
touches everybody in some
Mhm.
way, shape, or form. So, everybody's got perspectives. Obviously, a lot of different perspectives go into making music,
Mhm.
consuming it.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us what some of your favorites are. I love you all, and thank you for listening.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for listening, especially if you made it this far. Even if I kind of hope you cut it up into smaller bits so you could, it was more
More digestible.
more palatable. But thank you for listening. Definitely let us know down below, or in the reviews, like we said. If we get some iTunes reviews, we can start reading those out as well. So yeah, interact with us. We're dying of thirst. We need the interaction. So yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. With that, I will say adios, everyone.
Yeah, this was an episode that was coming for a very long time for us, especially considering we review albums every 2 weeks. So
Yep.
had to get out our favorites, at least the time capsule version of our favorite albums.
The
of all time.
baseline. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 years later, we'll look back on this and we'll probably laugh, and maybe they'll still be there. Who knows?
Yeah, a certain amount.
Yeah, only real music's gonna last. So
Dang.
at the end of the day,
Wow.
love
Yeah.
you guys a lot. Peace out, baby.